You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Enough of that. Can you guys hear me, see me? All the good things. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. We're live on YouTube, of course. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. It is holiday week. Yes. Happy holidays. Hanukkah just ended. Happy belated Hanukkah. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy Kwanzaa. All the things. And if you don't celebrate any of those things, happy Monday. Right? Or I'm sure a lot of you will probably be taking the week off. I know we have our 2 lives today. We'll be live again at 3 p.m. Eastern for our Married to Medicine recap. I don't think there's a new episode of Salt Lake City this week. If not, I think that's like the only other thing that will be live for this week. So yeah. Yes, Lene. Lene says, Kempire the Skin is skinning on Twitch. Damn 4K. Happy holidays. Guys, we're also live on Twitch, so don't forget to follow us there. I'm going to start doing in 2026 more Twitch-focused content, so be sure to follow me there, twitch.tv/TheKempire on Twitch. Also follow me on TikTok. I do go live on TikTok often, but TikTok was just sold. It was just approved, so I'm not sure how much longer we will be on TikTok. I mean, I'm still there. I'm still creating content all the time. If you want to get my shorts in regards to the content that I'm doing there, I'm always posting there first. Oh, first, let me show my shirt. Let me show my... Dr. Heavenly might be Team Daddy. I'm Team Naughty today. Yeah. Okay. Enough of that. Team Naughty. I forgot I had this shirt. I was like, wait, I have a holiday shirt. I need to put it on. Okay. I don't remember. I think I got this from Walmart in Tennessee. I got this like last year, I think, in Tennessee. Team Naughty. Ow. Guys, don't forget to like the video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. You can also hear our Real Housewives of Potomac recaps on our podcast. So be sure to subscribe to that today as well. All right. There's a lot of stuff to get into. I literally rewatched the episode this morning, and I rewatched the after show this morning as well. That's part of the reason why, a lot of times, guys, the reason why I'm not here exactly at the time is because I'm thinking of last minute things that I want to do for the lives, last minute things I want to upload and share and talk about, or last minute things I want to remind myself. So it's not because I'm not ready to go. It's usually because I'm just like, wait, there's more things that I want to talk about. Yeah. So anyway, shout out to our King's Guard. Shout out to our channel members. We see you guys. Thank you for everyone, the 141 of you that have already liked the video on YouTube. Thank you. And if you haven't already, be sure to share the live today. Let's talk about this episode. So we're already probably like halfway through the season. We're on episode 12. I'm watching the after show, guys. I felt for Wendy in this episode. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to unpack it. And I am going to take callers. So feel free to call in and share your mother-daughter stories. Just come on. Because I can see Susan's side, but then I can also see Wendy's side. So I will be twerking on a fence because I don't think it's necessarily a black and white thing. I really don't. And I'm not saying that Wendy's father is innocent either. But I also don't think that it's a black and white thing. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unpack it. So calm down with the opinions, okay? You're entitled to your opinion, all right? Yes, so I felt for Wendy in this episode. And if you watch the after show, because remember, the timing of this after show, I'm believing this was after she was arrested. I'm almost 100% sure that this after show was filmed after she was arrested. Wendy's energy in the after show is very low key. It's probably what we've been saying that she should be bringing at the courthouse. Remember, Tria Faison was here on the channel, and when she gave us the inside of what was going down in the courtroom. And we saw some video footage of her talking to, a lawyer talking to ABC News on Friday. And she seemed very different there in comparison to the after show. The after show, Wendy seems very low energy. Like there's certain moments where she'll perk up, but she's very like pulled back. Very pulled back. And I noticed it more in this week's episode, even though it's filmed all in the same day. But I was just like, oh, I'm starting to see how this is affecting her. I mean, she looks amazing, though. The after show, I mean, they all look really good. Right? Yeah, I mean, Giselle's going to Giselle. Giselle looks good for her. Let's just say that. Giselle looks good for her. That's a nice way of saying it, right? But Wendy for me is probably like the best dressed. Everything from hair, makeup, outfit. She looks amazing. The way she's sitting, poised, and gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, but all right. Let's get into this episode because the episode ended at this sort of Potomac and Ponies fun fest that they were doing. It was low budget. Come on, it was kind of like, is this what we're doing in season 10? It did feel kind of a little like, it felt like a kid's party, but it really wasn't meant to be a kid's party. It was meant to be sort of like a family fun day. Like there's just something about Potomac that's sometimes just a little too low budget. And I don't understand why. Maybe because of the people they decided to put on the show were low budget. I'm sure if Candace was there and Candace was throwing this event, it would have been very different. I mean, in her last season, she gave us the pomp and circumstance, and she just has a little bit more, taste than the rest of the rest of the group. So, and Wendy too. So I'm surprised that Wendy's even associating herself with this, and she brought Popeyes. All right, fine. Kendra says, I didn't get the purpose of the party. Me either. I was like, is this a kid's party or is this just to have an event? But okay, fine. So, as you know, last week's episode ended with Wendy saying, girl, the streets are saying, the people are saying that you were evicted. So Angel says, she addresses this and says, no, she was personally confused because she thought the exact date that she was leaving was one thing versus what the Airbnb, or as she calls it, Angel and her new terms, not big words, her new terms, because we're okay with the big words, but her terms. This was an executive rental. Oh, okay. I'm not saying that's not a thing, that people don't say that. I'm not saying that's not an actual term, but I always am just interested. She's gotten her answers together for the after show and for her confessionals, but in the moment, it's a humana. And that's why I because I didn't think it was a big deal. If she moved to Potomac to be with these ladies or to be on this show, because she's like, I moved to Potomac to be with Ashley, Giselle, and Wendy. Yes, it sounds good now, but in the moment, you're a humana, and you're kind of looking around, and that's what's making me kind of go like, wait, maybe you were evicted. But I don't believe she was evicted. And I get why she would be upset with the insinuation that she might be evicted, because eviction means that you haven't been paying your rent, or not necessarily paying, or you were a bad tenant. Because you could pay your rent and just be a bad tenant. There is that possibility too, and you could get evicted for something like that. Okay? But the insinuation of eviction only has negative connotations. Ashley is just so dead set on believing what she wants to believe when it comes to Stacey and when it comes to Angel. Because she was like, based on what she's saying this in the after show, based on what she described, it was an eviction. Ashley, you are so unlikable. I would not be mad if they did not bring you back next season. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't. So Angel tries to explain the situation to the group, and I'm just like, I wish she wouldn't explain. I personally wish she would just be like, girl, I wasn't evicted. Eviction means that you haven't. School them, especially the educated one here, Wendy. Wendy, you and I both know what eviction means. There was no situation where we did not pay. There was a miscommunication on our executive rental. Okay? There was a miscommunication on our executive rental. Okay? I thought I was leaving on this date. They thought I was leaving on this particular date. There was a miscommunication. And I could understand that. Okay? But fine. But she denies being evicted. She said, I wasn't evicted. Okay. So then we had that moment where Ashley in her confessional reads the definition of eviction. And she says, based on that, you were evicted. Okay. Whatever, Ashley. Just because you asked your automated device what that means doesn't mean that it's true. All right. So Angel also denies moving to Potomac to be on the show. Honestly, I don't even care. In 2025, we've already had how many different housewives move to certain cities to be on a show? Okay? I don't even care at this particular point. Chanel F on YouTube says Ashley cheapens the show. Even with her designer wears this season, she still feels like she's pretending. I agree. She does cheapen the show, along with Giselle, but Giselle can stay? Fine. So then we switch off. Eddie is talking to the guys, and he says that, they're about to celebrate, he and Wendy are about to celebrate their 15th anniversary, and she wants a new ring. Whew, Lord. I don't know about y'all, and I can only imagine that the prosecutors are watching these episodes the same way that I watch these episodes and taking notes. She wants a new ring. Okay. It does feel like, and hear me out, both of these individuals are adults and they made decisions. I'm not making excuses for either one of them. Okay? Let me just put that disclaimer out there. But just based off of what I've been watching these last couple of episodes with Eddie and Wendy, it feels like Eddie is trying to keep up with a lifestyle that Wendy wants. I'm not saying that he too isn't living up with that lifestyle, but based off the episodes this past week, it feels like Eddie's trying to keep up. And I definitely believe the love between Eddie and Wendy. And I think he's always trying to please her. And it could be, again, because this is going to get to what we talk about later in the episode when it comes to why Wendy wants the things that she wants and why Wendy always feels like she's a little bit lost. And it's because of her mother. We can unpack that, and we will. But I do believe the love between them, and I do believe that Eddie is trying to keep up with a lifestyle that Wendy wants, but also probably he equally wants. I'm not going to excuse it. We're going to talk about keeping up with lifestyles when we talk about Married to Medicine later on too. Because at the end of the day, these people are adults. So you make decisions as adults. Okay? Doesn't matter who wanted it. You decided to run with it too, Eddie. But it does feel, based off these episodes, that Eddie is trying to make her happy. Just saying. Okay? But he made that decision, so he's got to live with it. But the ring, getting her a new ring, mind you, the ring she has is beautiful. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to get a new ring. But now, with what came out on Friday, the prosecutor is saying, in a quote, the Osefos have very little money. But in Wendy's defense, the attorneys are saying the prosecutors are trying to embarrass the Osefos. And that could have been the motivation behind them saying that in court. Because now here we are. Look where we are. Everyone's reporting the Osefos have very little money, and that was the motivation behind these crimes, allegedly. All right. So Stacey is talking to her ex-husband, but reunited, Timo. So Timo makes an appearance, and we already talked about that last week. He's there. He's there for 32 minutes. Honestly, just the way that they reacted and how they were talking about Timo, this is exactly why Stacey did not want to bring him around. Timo doesn't feel, you could tell Timo's not comfortable around these people, these black folk. He's not, and I don't think it's because they're black. I think it's because they're weird. They're weird. They're very asking very invasive questions. So I could see why he's like, I am ready to go. You know what I mean? But they did not come separately. So I wonder if he's going to go do something and then come pick them up afterwards, because apparently Stacey was there for several hours with them. Okay? So Stacey's talking with Timo and Charisse. We did not talk about this last week. What the hell was Charisse wearing to this Family Fun Day event? She was wearing, mind you, why is Charisse there? She doesn't have any children there, like young kids. So why are you there? Oh, to film? Okay, Charisse. But what the hell are you wearing? What are you wearing? But I'm so glad that Stacey points it out in this moment. She says, here comes Charisse slithering over in lingerie. Yes, Stacey. Here goes Charisse slithering over in some lingerie. And when she pointed it out, I'm looking, I'm like, it's like see-through. Like, you're around children. Young children. We got 4-year-olds running around. We probably got, Angel has her 18-month running around. You are walking around, slithering around in lingerie around people's husbands, okay? And ex-husbands. You walking around in lingerie. Okay. All right. So, and I'm thinking the reason why they even brought Charisse there was so that they could bring up this whole Ashley storyline, because you saw how they filmed this before. So I think that was the whole point of bringing Charisse around. I honestly believe Giselle would like for Charisse to be back, but production's like, we're not interested. She's not going to add anything to the story. I think Giselle wants Charisse back to sort of be like her backup. All right? And I feel like they're overproducing the season themselves, over self-producing the season. Okay? So Stacey says, here comes Charisse slithering over in some lingerie. She's like, this is a family event. So it's very awkward. First of all, Charisse, you're so fake and phony. Why are you coming? It's very clear, and I can understand why Stacey was like, I am not interested in having a conversation with you. First of all, with your lingerie showing in front of my husband. And also, you weren't the best to me at the Reasonably Shady event. Stacey didn't even hear, at least at this particular point, I don't know if she knew, what Charisse was accusing her of at that event. About, being with flirting with a married man. So I could also see Stacey not wanting her around, especially because we went out when I was single and we were dating. Like, what are you about to come over here and say? Like, oh, Stacey, you back with your husband, even though you were flirting with somebody else's husband? Like, I think that's probably why her guard was up. But I could also be like, why are you coming over here? You're not my friend. But okay. Amanda says they need to stop forcing Charisse on us. I don't mind Charisse, to be honest with you. I don't mind Charisse because I do believe if you really pay attention to their social media, Charisse really is around these women. So I don't mind her if it makes sense. This particular event, it didn't make sense. And then her at the last event trying to bring up tea on Stacey, it's very obvious what they're trying to do here, and that's use you as a mechanism to stir the pot. Not interested in that. If you want to be around and you want to throw an event and they can attend that event, very much like that lady Amy in Salt Lake City, she threw that big event and the women attended that. If Charisse wants to be that type of lady, I'm okay with that. I don't know the last time that Charisse threw an event. The last event I heard about Charisse throwing was the garage sale. The estate sale. Okay? That was the last thing I heard that was happening in Potomac with Charisse. Okay? She was getting rid of everything. Fine. Which is okay. Her kids she's an empty nester. Fine, get rid of all the things. But I don't know. Okay, whatever. All right, so Timo ends up leaving the party early, and everyone has such a visceral reaction. Okay, but I thought it was interesting when Timo's leaving. So Timo's leaving. She's talking to Eddie and Wendy, and she's like, "Oh, Wendy with her, her inauthentic, why are you leaving?" So she's just like, I'm so glad that you guys, Stacey says this to Wendy, I'm so glad that you guys got to meet. She's like, we want to continue the friendship. Huh? Okay. All right. She wants to continue the friendship. I was a little confused because before she didn't want to bring Timo around Wendy because of what happened at the reunion. But a lot could be, happening off camera that we don't see. So just keep that in mind. All right? All right. So Timo ends up leaving and Wendy runs to her headmistresses over there, Ashley and Giselle, to tell them. And during the after show, according to Giselle, Wendy actually had a more visceral reaction to Timo leaving. It's like, oh man, Timo's leaving. This sort of reaction she said during the after show. But in that moment, But again, we know Giselle likes to put a lot of sauce on stuff because based on what we saw in the moment, Wendy did not have that type of reaction. It was more so like, oh, Timo's leaving. And Ashley and Giselle's reaction was weird to me. He doesn't have to stay there for you. He came there to show up for his estranged wife, new girlfriend. I don't know what they're calling each other. I don't know. But Ashley and Giselle are so confused. They're like, why is he leaving? I thought he was part of the staff. Oh, who cares? He showed up. He's not mixing and mingling with you guys. And if he knew what you guys were saying about him, then he probably would have left even earlier. So Giselle, first of all, Ashley's like, why are we treating him with kid gloves? Why are we treating him that way? And Giselle's like, why are we catering to this? Catering to what? He came, he said hello. You guys have been asking for him. He said, hey, here I is. And then he left. What is the big deal? What is the big deal? Greg refuses to marry this woman who wants to be married, Keiarna, and he's staying there the entire time for the free food. Of course. All right? He's staying there the entire time for the free food. Timo's like, I don't got time for this. I got things to do. I got a flight to catch. So I thought their reaction was weird. I thought their reaction was weird to me. Like, what are we catering to? Catering to what? He came, he said hello. It's not like you have to do anything for him. Chanel's like, okay, Chanel, I agree with this. Chanel, beautiful photo, Chanel. Chanel says, Giselle, where is your man? Focus on getting him on camera instead of asking why Timo clocked out after his shift was over. That's immediately what I thought. I was like, you guys are so concerned about what's going on with Stacey this entire season. But you over here with no one. You're not here with anyone. But word on the street is you're dating someone. And they've met your daughter. So I don't understand. I don't understand the energy. It's weird. You guys have been weird this entire season. Okay? MB says, thank you, MB, for editing this. MB says they are a bunch of itches, Kempire. I think it sounds funnier when you say itches instead of, the actual word. Guys, keep liking the video if you haven't already. It's an easy free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Happy holidays. Team Naughty over here. Are you team naughty or nice? Are you team naughty or nice? And no, it doesn't say team nice on the back. It doesn't. It's just team naughty. Thank you so much, Christina, for the super chat. Scout, where are you, Scout? Her dog. She says, hey, Cam, watched with Scout. She growled every time Kay and Angel were on, even sick of them. Not Scout is mad at the Angel and Keiarna, too. Hey, Nina, beautiful face, Nina. Look at that makeup and that color. Woo! Gorgeous, Nina. Sorry. Let me stop flirting with our community. Beautiful, though, Nina. Nina says, if I hear Angel say malign and mercurial again, I'm skipping her. I like those words, though. I don't like when she says them, but I do like those words, malign and mercurial. They're like my new favorite words. Beautiful photo, Nina. Woo! Squirtle, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Squirtle says, Greg giving Kay that picture frame is the kind of gift you give a coworker for Secret Santa. That man tolerates her. We're going to talk about that because I thought maybe we only saw part of the scene and that she was going to turn around and he'd be on one knee and he'd be like, Keiarna, will you marry me? But that's not what we got. But we will get there. There's not a lot to say. Okay? Thank you, Squirtle. Sweet Tea Talks, thank you so much for the super chat. They say they are reaching for a storyline without Karen there. I told you the tea that I heard is that Karen was definitely missed this season. I asked Taria about, that's an inside joke, y'all. Taria from the What Else Is Going On podcast, how she felt when we did the IG Live. You can watch that now on our YouTube. If she was missing Karen, and she was like, I really didn't even think about Karen like that this season. So I wonder how you guys feel. Are you missing Karen? Does it stand out to you that Karen's not there? Apparently it stood out to the cast that Karen wasn't there. Sweet Tea Talks. Thank you so much for the another super chat. They mad that they didn't get to grill him, and I think he felt like that was coming because even when he was introduced, it was sort of like, oh, okay. TJ says your expectations are too high, Kemp. Well, Patricia says I love that Greg trolled Kay. Desiree says, I really like Karen, but I didn't miss her. Okay. I can't say that I missed Karen, but when we talk about Karen, I'm like, oh, yeah, it would be nice to have Karen there. Because as soon as Karen comes back, I know we're all going to be like, oh my gosh, the Grand Dame is back. You know what I mean? And you are going to see Karen this season. I don't know if you'll see her intermingling with the cast yet, but you will definitely see. No, you won't, because based off of BravoCon, a lot of them just saw her for the first time at BravoCon, so you won't see that. But maybe at the reunion. The reunion should be happening next month, so we shall see. Keisha says, "I miss Candace." I feel like people have mixed feelings on that, and as a producer, as a pretend producer in my head, that's a good thing that people have such a visceral reaction to Candace, whether you like her or dislike her. That's a good reality TV person. I think they should bring Candace back next season because Wendy's going to need a lot of support that she's not going to get from these other ladies. Just saying. And I think Karen will come back next season with a shift in regards to how she was treating Wendy at the end of the season. I think she will come from a different place with everything that she's going through and be a support for Karen. I mean, for Wendy. Yeah, Teach says that Karen does bring a certain je ne sais quoi, there we go, to the show. Yeah. All right. DW says, I want regular Robin. Well, they don't say regular Robin. I want Robin. I don't necessarily, it's been enough time. This is why I say they should normalize giving some of these housewives a break, because now with like 2 seasons under our belt without regular Robin, I don't know if I just miss saying regular Robin. That might be for selfish reasons. I wouldn't mind Robin coming back in a friend capacity though. But she wasn't open to coming back in a friend capacity. I wonder if she would change her mind for next season though. She might. She might change her mind for next season. Hey, Lenora. Lenora says that Candace would eat Angel up, but I don't think they would have an issue. I think you'd be surprised. I think Candace and Angel would get along. You know what I mean? I actually think they would get along glowingly. And just because Angel's having beef with Wendy. Oh, I froze. No, I didn't fix the wire. Shut up. Look, shut up. Shut up. I'm keeping it in. My fourth wall in. All right. And I'm back. See how quickly I fixed it, though? See how quickly I fixed it? Calm down. All right. Booyah! And I'm back. All right. Someone disliked the video just because I froze. Wow. Not you being an elitist. I think it's funny now. You know what? Skiji says, The Wire 9, Kempire 0. All right. Fine. All right. DD, first of all, don't do all caps because Nightbot's going to get you, DD. Hey, Kempire, what do you think about the Nicki Minaj of it all? I did a video yesterday about it, a short form video. Okay? Aisha says Kempire's bloopers are elite. Oh, my God. Not y'all keeping count. Shut up. Happy holidays. I have The Wire, too. That's the best. It's not even The Wire. It's not really The Wire, guys. It's the mechanism that connects the camera and The Wire. But fine. The Wire is winning. Okay? Exactly. Patricia says, Kemp, you did that quick, though, because I know what the problem is. Again, I don't think it's the actual wire. It could be, though. So let me change the mechanism in between that connects the wire, then we'll see. But at this particular point, I find it funny that you guys have, not 9 more days, Kendra says. Not 9 more days. All right, let's move on. At least we had a little bit of fun. A little bit of fun for our recap, a Real Housewives of Potomac recap. Guys, you're just joining us. Don't forget, I almost forgot to remind you, the Kempire After Dark live show is coming back to New York City. One night only. One man, one mic, one night. Get your tickets today for the Kempire After Dark live experience. If you're in New York, this is why I say it's important, because if we sell out this show, we can add another show. So if you're in New York or you want to be in New York or you're in the tri-state area, I'm looking at you, Connecticut. I'm looking at you, Jersey, North Jersey. I'm looking at you, Staten Island. Joking. This is your opportunity to show up and show out. So if we sell out now, we can add another show. So go get your tickets today for the Kempire After Dark live experience. This show also has meet and greets available. There's a special show plus meet and greet option. So be sure to make sure that you're looking through the options. And if you scroll all the way down on that page, if you head on over to KempireAfterDarkLive.com/NYC, you'll see that there's an option for a live stream. So if you can't come, because I know some of you do not want to come into the United States and you live abroad, you live in South Africa, you live in Sweden, you live in Amsterdam, you live in Portugal, you live in South America, you live in Jamaica, and you want to be a part of the Kempire After Dark live experience, you actually have a special opportunity by watching via the live stream that you get to keep for 1 week. So buy your ticket before the show. Buy your ticket now, okay? That way you don't have to worry about it later. But I get it. It's the holidays. Just letting you guys know. All right? All right. Skiji, thank you so much for the super chat. Skiji says, the only way I'll be convinced Greg doesn't hate Kay is if he pops the question before the end of the season on camera. That picture frame was buns. I mean, based off of them talking about the premiere during the after show and Giselle bringing up to him the fact like he had diamonds on at the premiere, and she's like, why didn't you take one of those diamonds and put it in a ring for Kay? So if they didn't get engaged during the season, because that's what it seems like, because if she's saying that at the premiere party, that says to me they didn't get engaged during the season. Kay says she's okay with it. We will get there. All right. Unique, thank you so much for the super chat. I need to drink. Today's a busy day, so I need to make sure I stay hydrated. So, Unique says, Kay needs to leave. She doesn't fit the show and was never married, not even a divorcee. Well, damn. Here's the thing. If she was a friend of, I wouldn't care. It'd be fine, whatever. But she's definitely not, like, main character energy. Beautiful, beautiful gowns. But she's definitely not main character energy. DW, thank you so much for the super chat. DW says, looks like you lost some weight. Looking good. You flirt with me, these up here? Are you a woman or a man? that will change. That will change if I flirt back. All right. Tube Lottie says Kay is collecting homes from Greg. If we are to believe that she actually bought the condo, because word on the street she didn't buy the condo, that she was renting the condo. I don't know if she was renting it to buy, but word on the street she's not in the condo anymore. We see that during the season, but apparently, I don't know if they still have the condo. I don't know what they're doing, y'all. But whatever. I don't care. Do I want to follow? If we get nothing special during this reunion from Kay, I do not need to see Kay ever again in life. Okay. Superstar 7 says, Keiarna has background character energy just there to fill up space. Well, damn. Not even friend of energy? You're saying like she could just be in the background like she was in season 5? We didn't know until now. It's so funny that people just brought that up this season. She's been on this last couple of seasons. But fine. All right, let's move on. Let's continue in regards to this party. Again, guys, keep liking the video. Thank you so much for 400 likes on YouTube. If you're watching on other platforms, if not, you should watch us. We're live on Twitch and we're live on Facebook as well. Where was I? Ashley and Giselle confused about Timo leaving. Who cares? Stacy calls. Did y'all pay attention? I wrote this down. When they went to go play the different games, Stacy mentions the name on Wendy's belt, and Wendy covers it up. And I'm like, is she embarrassed that it's like a no name or something? Like, it was weird. It was a weird reaction. I know some people speculate, was that one of the items that she put on this stolen? I don't think it was that. At least, because like, why would she wear it? I don't know. So I thought her reaction, Wendy's reaction when she was trying to read the belt buckle and what it said, I don't know. I was like, that was a weird reaction, but she just kind of wanted to move on from it. Fine. All right, so they start playing these games. Who cares? They flash back because Jackson, Charisse's son, arrives. Okay? He arrives, and Charisse points out, Ashley, look who's here. So it seems like she's okay. She's okay with Jackson and Ashley having a thing because 2 days before, they had a scene that they filmed with Charisse where Ashley reveals that she ended up kissing or hooking up. I think they did more than just kiss. Based on what Ashley said and what Ashley said on Watch What Happens Live, they definitely did more than kiss. There's a 10-year age difference between them. I don't think it has anything to do with the age difference. I think a lot of people are like, that's your friend's child. And you've known them since they were 17 years old. Ariana. Ariana says, hold on, Aria, what's your comment? There we go. Ariana says, Jackson is fine. She's like, in parentheses, I'm 27, laughing my A off. I mean, I think anyone can say that he's fine. We could say that he's fine. He's good. He's grown. Okay. But I keep telling you, especially this season, it's standing out to me how much Ashley and her behavior reminds me of Michael Darby. You know what I mean? And I just feel like, I was like, she's very predatory behavior from her. And I get it. He's of age. It's not a big deal. But it just feels weird, okay? Even the way she's talking about it, okay? She says in that meeting that she had with Charisse and Giselle, she's just like, would you be okay if more than a smooch happened? He's the one who smooched on Ashley, but whatever it led to, I'm just like, fine, whatever. It's weird. I don't need to know about it. I could have did without knowing about this, right? I could have did without knowing about this. I did not need this to be a storyline. And then I said earlier today when I rewatched it, I said this on X. I said to myself, Charisse seems to be okay with Ashley and Jackson hooking up. And I said, is it because this might give her a moment to be on camera for 5 seconds? Or come back next season because Ashley's dating Jackson? Well, she's not. She said on Watch What Happens Live, she's rounding the block again. And she's talking to Josh Harlow. She's back with talking to Josh. But they still have the same issue. So I don't know why anyone wastes their time with Ashley. Josh, you're wasting your time. She doesn't see a long future with you. But maybe you don't see a long future with her and you just like to have the sex. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but fine. Not only that, after she broke up with him on camera, she embarrassed you on camera. She made you look like a scrub on camera. But Josh, you like it. We love it for you. Okay? We like it for you. I wish you nothing but the best, as long as we're not going to do it to Wale. Whatever you think is perfect, okay? Whatever is perfect for you, Josh. All right? Right. All right. So Angel pulls Tia to the side because Tia has a good friendship with Angel. So she pulls her to the side to talk about what the ladies were accusing her of being evicted and things like that. And Giselle interrupts them. Giselle is so mean. I have to say it was mean. Why can't Angel have a conversation with Tia? You're trying to get her attention because you want to play these reindeer games you want to be the producer and you want to be head B word in charge. You want to be the HBIC. And that's why everyone treats you like that when they come on this show. They're like, oh, she's the HBIC. We need to bow down to Giselle. Angel, what you should have did in that moment, that could have been your moment to let her know you're the head wag here. You know what I would have said to Giselle? She's like, Giselle, I'm talking. And I would have continued my conversation. This is how you stop with this whole, just because Giselle is an OG. You guys are showing your desperation to be on this show. You sit here and act as if, oh, I'm not desperate to be on this show. When you are, your behavior is showing us that you're desperate to be on the show. You are bowing down to Giselle. If you were that girl before and you will be that girl after the show, That's how I would conduct myself. I don't care. Y'all want me back? Fine. If you don't want me back, fine. I'm going to be fine either way. I would have told Giselle in that moment, I'm like, I'm talking. And I would have continued my conversation because I'm head wag here. Okay. But okay. So she falls in line and they go play the games. All right. Stacy wants everyone to try her potato salad. Okay. Word on the street, the potato salad was good. Okay. That's what they talked about during the after show. Apparently, the potato salad was good. Stacy wanted everyone to try the potato salad, including poor little Cameron. Okay. Cameron talks with Stacy about it, and she's serving her. She's like, I'm going to give you a special plate. And Cameron looks at the American flag plate, and she said, that's a Trump plate. And it's so funny to me, and it stood out to me, because when I was in Dublin, Ireland, I was having a conversation with a native of Ireland. And we were talking about the flag, and they were talking about how in Ireland, the Irish flag is not something that we, put out on our homes or anything like that. And I was like, it's very different in America when it comes to the American flag. A lot of people do. And a lot of people that are MAGA, they've sort of claimed it as their own. And we sort of we don't claim it like that anymore. So I thought it was so interesting that at 5 years old, that Cameron looks at the American flag as the Trump flag. What does that say? At 5, she said that. And Stacy did not know what to do with that. Stacy knew nothing. She was just like, oh. She's like, no, it's the American flag. I love me some Cameron because she just be telling everything, okay? But I thought in that moment, I was like, oh, I thought that was really, really interesting. Oh, but rewinding back to my conversation with the native Dubliner, I guess, or they said that what they're currently seeing, because you're seeing this around the world, where there's a rise to the MAGA mentality, and it's they don't call themselves MAGA, of course, but it's very similar. Where now the Irish flag, or in other countries, the flag is being weaponized for that side of the aisle, kind of thing, and we see that happening here in America as well. Kira says, "I'm living for Cameron." She said, "That's the Trump." She's like, "That's a Trump plate." I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Wait." But then I'm thinking to myself, like, "Oh, this is our future, the poor little kids." Okay. Shantae says home is where she got it. I mean, obviously, we know that Wendy was a big advocate for Kamala, and she talks politics. It wouldn't shock me. These are things that she's overhearing at home or in conversations with her mom. Okay. Chris says it's nationalist movements here in Europe. See? Yep. Patricia says right-wing politics is rising globally. Yeah. Exactly. Bloomingdale, people don't even realize that, but they've sort of reclaimed this. Bloomingdale says that didn't a black woman design or sew the flag? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But they like to whitewash history, but here we are. All right. There we are. See, look, Miss Lulu says MAGA is huge in South Africa because they see something here in America and they try to recreate it. They've seen, it seems like it's working, so let's try and recreate that in other places. You'll see certain countries like, oh, this particular person, this political figure is the Trump of this particular country, kind of thing. So yeah, Smack to You says that hearing politics at home. So that stood out to me. That moment stood out to me. I know it was supposed to be left in for a funny moment, but it stood out to me. I was like, ooh, at 5 years old, that's what she views the American flag. So I'm sure that will probably come up during the reunion. Okay. All right, let's move on from there. So Stacy wants everyone to try her potato salad. Wendy encourages Eddie to try the potato salad. He's like, I got to leave room for all the other things. I didn't really see people eating that catfish. Was the food even warm by the time they decided to eat it? You know what I mean? But anyway, so they were making such a big deal about the catfish. Ashley, I think it was during the after show. She was like, she's not sure, or maybe it was during Watch What Happens Live. She's not sure if Stacey even made that and she bought it. I wouldn't be surprised if she actually bought it, but fine, because we saw from a flashback that Stacey doesn't necessarily really know how to cook. Okay, Chris says that Eddie was sweating. Eddie was just like. He's like, it's good. It's good. And Wendy's like, have a little more. Have a little more. And I'm sure he did. Okay, Ms. Parker said it was on Watch What Happens Live. Thank you. I couldn't remember. Do you guys like catfish? Don't people like catfish with pasta or something like that? Or spaghetti or something like that? That's like a thing, right? I don't like either. I mean, I like pasta, but I'm not going to want that together. No, thank you. Look, Clever Lady said, everyone's going to have a different perspective. I get it. Clever Lady says, I must be living in a different South Africa. We don't like Trump because he's constantly attacking South Africa. But I wouldn't be surprised that there is a movement, maybe not large, but a movement with that side of politics. But yeah. Nia says, does Wendy like Stacey? I think Wendy is amused by Stacey. I don't know if she necessarily likes Stacey because I don't think she likes a lot of people. But yeah. Desiree says, yeah, fried catfish. See? Mm-hmm. Okay. I know. I've seen a TikTok trend about that. Noda Queen, thank you so much for the super chat. Noda Queen says, Greg is never marrying Kay. Oh. She's already convincing herself a ring is... I don't know what that abbreviation is for. Is despite begging for it all the time. She begged for it. That's the thing. I feel like it's another Dr. Contessa situation where you give us one thing and then when we're on your side about it, now all of a sudden we're crazy for feeling like, wait, but I thought that's what you wanted. It's one of those things. And very similar to Dr. Simone this week, too. We'll talk about that at 3 p.m. Eastern later on during our Married to Medicine recap. Unique, thank you so much for another super chat. Unique says, Ashley is a predator just like her husband. Yeah. Look, that's the vibe I'm getting. Okay. 7 says that Wendy is two-faced. I mean, she is a Gemini. But, the twins, the duality. I'm just saying. Okay. Oh, okay. Jasmine says, yep, I'm from Memphis, 36. Have eaten it my whole life. The whole catfish and spaghetti. Okay. Asa says, hey, Kempire, no Gemini slander. I'm just saying the duality. I'm not saying it's a... Okay, sorry. I'm in the tis of the season. Can I tis the season with you guys? All right, guys, keep liking the video. Let me continue because we still have a lot more to get through in regards to this. All right. And we're still at the damn party. All right. Giselle. Oh, so Kay and Greg are at this event, and Giselle comments on Kay moving back in with Greg. And in her confessional, Giselle says, you done lost your power. That man's never going to give you a ring because he knows he doesn't have to. And we don't agree with Giselle a lot, but I think we all can agree with that. Right? All right? I definitely can agree with that. So Ashley and Jackson, we go to a moment where they're catching up, and he's been modeling. I mean, he's I can see the model. All right? So Ashley's catching up with him, and Charisse comes over. She's like, hey, guys, what are you guys talking about? She wants to have a moment. She wants to have a scene. She doesn't care if she has to use her son for it, okay? So then the ladies find out about the kiss because they're overhearing the conversation here. And Wendy's just like, you better never kiss one of my kids. I would hope not. I would hope not. But I'm assuming she's like, even when they're like 20 years old, don't be see, when we go back to just a couple of weeks ago where Giselle says you can't trust Stacey around your husbands or your children, Ashley's the one you can't trust around your husbands or your children. Ashley's the one. So everyone has a reaction. She was just like, Oh, that's interesting. Tia was the only one that was like, I mean, Jackson is very handsome. I can see it. and Ashley's beautiful. Yes, why not? Again, she wasn't around the Michael Darby days. She hasn't been around this group a very long time. So I could see how she could be like, well, all right. It's weird. All right. It's weird. Let's move on. Speaking of Tia, let's get to the next scene. The next scene is Tia with her children. I know you guys feel a way about Tia and her kids, and that son of hers for me stands out the most because it feels like he is very disrespectful. Like the way he speaks to Tia, he's very rude. I think all of them are rude in their own kind of way, but again, you like it, I love it for you. I'm not going to tell you how to raise your children, okay? But when you put it on a reality show, I'm going to have an opinion, okay? So they discuss the children's chores. Someone's kissing the mirrors in the house. The son's just like, it might be you because you wear lipstick, okay? All right. So Tia's kids, apparently, they will eat something and just leave it and throw it on the floor. I'm not surprised because Tia did grow up a little more privileged than anything, so she probably is a little bit more lax with those kinds of things. But you're growing up in a place where you don't have help, so you need your kids to do a little bit more than you did as a kid. So she talks about, I grew up, with people that did those things, but she wants her kids to actually start doing stuff. All right, we didn't talk about this a lot, but a couple of weeks ago, Tia did sort of let us know that there were these two side babies that happened during her parents' relationship. And she found out about that apparently when she was in her early teens. So they talk a little bit about her half-sister that's coming to visit. Okay? So she has a half-sister and a half-brother that she found out. All right. So she says at first she didn't want to have a relationship with her half siblings until after her father died. That's when she was more open to having the relationship. I mean, I'm not going to fault her for that. You feel how you feel. We'll get back to that. Stacey and Timo. I don't know if these scenes are being set up by Stacey herself or production, but the parallel worlds that we're living in from when Stacey was on with TJ, now from when Stacey's on with Timo, it's so interesting to me because you remember that awkward, weird scene between Stacey and TJ from last season in the gym where it felt like TJ had more chemistry with the trainer than he did with Stacey. We see a complete opposite at the home gym with Stacey and Timo because they're working out together. They're having a good time. Okay? So, fine. So they're hanging out. We're getting to see them work out. Stacey says that Timo has moved back into the house. He's keeping his other place. I'm wondering, is his other place the apartment that she had in DC, or did he have another place? What happened to the apartment in DC? There's something about Stacey that's not 100%. So I don't really take Stacey's scenes as 100% truth or fact. Because if you watch the after show, and when she's asked about whether or not he's moved back in, she's sort of like, well, but I'm like, well, this week's episode, you say that he did, that he's back at the house. So I don't know if it's because Stacey is not sure what has been revealed on the show but you're sitting with production. You're reacting to each episode. So I don't know. It felt like, I don't know if this relationship 100% is what she's making it out to be. I don't know. I can't even tell you. But her reaction to, in the after show, whether or not he was back at the house was interesting because this week she says that he is. But he's keeping his place. So I don't know if they've taken a step back. I don't know if at the reunion she's going to say that they're no longer dating. Sense 58 says, I believe it was fake. But okay. So, but she does say that Ashley's bunions aren't the only thing that's been on her counter lately. Okay, and they flash back to that scene, and we get to see Karen in that scene as well. Fine. Okay. What did you guys think of the scene? I thought it was cute. Mm-hmm. They talk a little bit about their relationship and where they're going and if they're going in a healthy direction. And he says that they have real love. I don't think Timo can fake it for the cameras. If I'm going to be honest, I don't think he can fake it for the cameras. And that's why that's the only reason why I kind of believe that they've sort of gotten back together, but maybe they're taking it slow. We also have to keep in mind culturally German. They're not going to be very emotional in these scenes. Okay. Lexi says, I don't blame Timo for limiting his camera time. I don't either. Fab, who's watching on Twitch, says it was okay for me. Yeah, it was just okay scene. It was to give us an update on what's going on with Stacy, which is what we get with a couple of the women in this week's episode. Okay. So Timo says that they have like real love, and that's what's going to help them get to where they need to get to. Okay. Apparently, according to Stacy in this scene, she says Bella hasn't had a big reaction to Timo being back home. Again, then I go back to the after show, and Stacy says, they're being very careful as to what they tell Arabella because they had a whole conversation about them getting a divorce. So I don't know. I have to say what she's saying in the after show versus what we're seeing in the scene are conflicting. Because I can understand why Arabella would be confused. Because we're seeing you kiss each other, hug up on each other. So I'm sort of like, this would be very confusing for after we just had a conversation that you guys are separating and getting a divorce and that things are going to be different. So I'm confused. I don't know about y'all. I'm confused for her. Okay. Ms. Parker says, Timo is like, look, I'm going to support my wife, but y'all are not going to drag me. And we also don't, he could also be thinking about his work as well. I forgot what he does. Jarrell says they're in a gray area. Yeah, but I think the gray area can be confusing for the child. Especially if he's at the house, you're kissing up on each other. Patricia says, not us also being confused. Aren't we confused? Like, we're all confused. I'm a little confused with that. All right. So then we have Angel at home with Bobby. She's at home with Bobby. They're going back to Colorado. Who were they in? Were they still in the Airbnb? Were they staying at another Airbnb? So they moved their stuff into storage. They're going back to Colorado. Angel says that she thought that they would have found a house by now. So apparently she got this Airbnb in order for a certain period of time while she looked for a house. What's confusing to me, Angel, and this is why I'm glad I watched the after show, apparently you were talking with Kay since like 2022, 2023 about moving back to Maryland. I believe she has real roots in Maryland. We know that already. But I'm confused at the timeline because you said in the after show that you've been looking for a house in Maryland since 2023. And don't get me wrong, looking for a house like your forever home can be a process and it can take time. But you've been looking for a house since 2023 and you haven't found one. So you got an Airbnb thinking that you were going to find one. But didn't you tell us a few episodes that you found one? I'm confused. I'm confused anyway.
Lies! The lie!
Something's not making sense to me. Something's not making sense to me. Right? Right. Anyone else confused? So the after show, she says that they've been looking since 2023. In this moment, she says they got the Airbnb because they thought they would have found something by now. Okay, I'm confused. I'm confused by the timeline. Skiji, thank you so much for another super chat. You can tell Tia's kids ain't seen or heard the crack of a belt. I blame Dad for not putting his dad voice on and addressing it in the moment. Passive. Yeah, because I think those kids are running both parents. Tish, thank you so much for the super chat. Tish says Tia brought up TJ to Stacy as a dig. Tia knows about Michael. She is in the alliance. Ooh. Oh. Houston Foodie, thank you so much for the super chat. Houston Foodie says Karen didn't want Ashley around her daughter. Well, look, I personally, based off of what we've seen this season, I wouldn't bring Ashley around my children. Just say, you don't have any children. I did. Okay. Tamara, thank you so much for the super chat. Tamara said, oh, wait, it's $20. Let me shimmy for the $20. Shimmy. Okay. Sorry. I'm going into a meeting, so I just would like to say it now. Ending scene with Wendy and her mom. Do you want a moment? Wait, do you want a moment? Is a big no. That is something you say to coworkers who throw drinks and not your mom. Oh, okay. All right. Katie, thank you so much for the super chat. Katie says, in the trailer, Wendy seems upset with Stacey, and I think it's because Wendy told her about her mom's situation and Stacey repeated to the other women. Oh. Uh-oh. But they seem to be in a better place. They're filming the after show together. They recently took a photo together. Like they've been, you know, just saying. Ocean Dream says that 9-bedroom house, $7+ million. I looked it up. Oh, the one that they said that they liked and that they were getting. Because remember, their budget was $7 million. Something's just not. Look, something's just not connecting for me when it comes to Angel, and it's not just the way she's been on the show. Just some of the things that she says. You know. But okay, guys, keep liking the video. We have almost 2,000 of you watching here on YouTube and Facebook and on Twitch. Shout out to those of you watching on X. What's going on? Bonjour, madame. Bonjour. Marilyn is watching on X as well. Same, having my dinner too as I watch. I love it. Bonjour, madame. Madame says, Josh Holo again. He's a mess. Let me know before I move on. I'm going to drop the call link before I forget. I'm going to drop the call in link. We're not taking callers just yet, but I'm going to drop the call link for our members. So if you're a member of the channel, I'm going to drop the call in link. Live chat. Once we get to 750 likes, I will drop the call link for the live chat. Again, we will take callers. However, it will be for like 30 seconds, okay, per caller. Please respect the timer so I can get to everyone, okay? I will also be live at 3 p.m. Eastern for our our Married to Medicine recap. I have a lot of thoughts on that. So stay tuned for that at 3 p.m. Eastern. All right. M. Mercer says, the math ain't mathin' with Angel. That might be it. Singer DST says, Ashley can't be around my daughter either. Damn. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss Esquire says, I wish Angel would just say that she booked an Airbnb based on what the production schedule was and its filming went longer, so she had to pivot. Maybe she'll say that during the reunion, because, you know, they can only break the fourth wall so much. So maybe she'll say that during the reunion. She's watching, so there you go. You got a nice little freebie. Hey, Angel, we see you. Oh, she's probably like this. She's probably like, can he see me, really? Hey, Bobby. We are a mess. We are a mess. Okay. All right. Let me get back to my notes. All right. So Wendy, at home. Okay. We get to see the full renovation of her home. I'm going to say this because you know we love a home renovation here on the channel. We love that. Okay. They did a damn good job. They spent a lot of money on it, and I know that's probably going to hurt them in the end in regards to their insurance fraud stuff, but y'all did that. It looks good. It looks good. Right? She did a good job. I wish we could have gotten a better shot. I guess they probably wouldn't do one now. Damn it. Because you know how Bravo TV on their YouTube, they'll do like a home tour? I want to see the renovation, like in depth. Like she had some beautiful art in the living room. They did it. That kitchen looks so much better than it did because I didn't really love that little triangle island. That was a thing in certain, builds. I loved the renovation. The renovation looked amazing, Wendy. You did that, girl. Shout out to your Black interior designer. She did that. Great job, Black interior designer. I was like, this is good. Okay. Kira says the house looks nice. It does, right? The art on the wall. I was like, this is nice. Okay, what does upstairs look like? Are you going to renovate upstairs next? Oh, can't? Oh. Yeah. I understand, but downstairs with the main living part, here's the thing, though. She then talks to Eddie about the renovation, and she's just like, what are we going to do next? We could do the basement, or we can build a pool. And he's like, well, building a pool might seem nice. And he's like, wait a minute. I feel like I'm being bamboozled here. And she's just like, yes. Not Mr. Bellman Magic says, shout out to the fraud. Well, they remember, in regards to the insurance fraud, they only got 20-something thousand of the 450,000 that they were trying to get. So just keep that in mind. They only got 25,000. So I don't know how they did it. Maybe they put some of this on one of the 67 credit cards that they have, allegedly. Maybe. Huh? Wait, okay. Maybe. Cindy says, not shout out to the fraud. So not even shout out to the fraud. Shout out to the 67 credit cards. It looks great, though. It looks really good. I enjoyed it. Okay. I enjoyed the renovation. Like, I would just rewind just to look back at the renovation. I was like, this is good. I love the island. Mm-hmm. Miss Escar says, that's right, Wendy. Get them while they are excited. All right. So then Wendy has a FaceTime with her dad. Okay. Well, first of all, it wasn't FaceTime. It was just a phone call. It turns into a FaceTime. So she talks with her dad and says that, she was sad that she didn't get to see him back in December when she was there for Death to December. I don't know if she was there for that, but she was there in December. Okay. And he's sort of like, let's not talk about the past. Let's move forward. He says, let's not talk about, let's not cry over spilled milk. And he says I thought this was impressive because, sometimes the men can't be so open and vulnerable. And he's just like, he misses Wendy and that he loves Wendy and he doesn't want to dwell in the past. Because dwelling in the past for him, it shows where he was wrong. And I think for Wendy, on some level, she needs him to meet her halfway. She talked about this during the after show. She was like, you got to. I'm okay with meeting him halfway on not dwelling in the past, but he also has to meet her halfway. And he says that he loves his daughter so much. He's like, do you want to get on FaceTime? Do you want me to get on FaceTime so I can wave goodbye to you? And he's like, yes. And he gets on FaceTime. I was like, that's your father? Did you guys see it? The father looked so young. I guess when you don't have the stress of raising children. The father looked so young. I was like, and he looked a little bit like Eddie. Right? Didn't he look a little bit like Eddie? I was just like, oh my God. I did not expect that. I was like, wait a minute. Daddy is looking great. Chris says that he looked young. Look, some of us can do that. But now I'm like, what is his age? I just want to just double check. Is there an age difference between him and the mother? Because I will say this, Susan doesn't look as youthful as he does. But remember, Susan had to work 4 jobs to raise those daughters to make sure that they did, okay? Okay, Miss N. Kesey says, Nija Black, don't crack Kemp. But what about, okay, I'm going to leave it alone. It could be other things, okay? Because I was looking at Susan like, okay. R. Davis says, kids age you fast. And I'm going to give it to her. She says she worked 4 jobs. Only 1KBZ says that dad sounded like Simon. Well, they're both Nigerian, so that's not shocking. So, all right. Well, I see you, Keith. But the interaction, she definitely, and look, we said this before, you can see with Wendy's sister versus her, she wants to be a daddy's girl. She wants to connect with her father. One thing I would tell Wendy, though, do not expect him to be the father of what you wanted as a kid. Expect him to be the father of today. And maybe this is the only way that you guys can have a relationship where there is no obligation for him to do the things that you wanted him to do when you were a little girl. You know what I mean? I think you can have a relationship on an adult level. You get what I'm saying? So, because you can see she almost becomes like a little girl twice in this episode. She really kind of melts when she sees her dad, and then Eddie comes out. She's like, all right, let me bring Eddie out. So Eddie comes out, and Eddie's very respectful, like, hi. It was a really sweet scene. All right, Giselle. Giselle has a Zoom call with the Tumor Society that she was raising money for. Apparently, they even filmed the second annual GNA charity event for this event. This was to give us a moment to give Giselle some sort of personal story because she really doesn't have anything else going on. But it also gives us an update on what's happening with the will and what they're going to do with her father's will. Apparently, there has not been a decision on the will. Okay? So they also flash back to the GNA fundraiser that she has. Again, we have no idea what GNA is at this particular point. But Giselle claims that talking to the charity really makes her feel closer to her dad. And I can see that. And I think either way, her bringing attention to this charity is going to bring money and funds and research and the good work that they're doing at the charity. I'm like, fine. I'm okay with it. But Giselle, next season, what are we talking about, girl? What are we talking about? Next season, she will breeze on by because she can talk about Karen. She can talk about Wendy. She's going to breeze on by and collect the biggest check on this cast. Just saying. And bring nothing. What is she going to bring? Nothing. All right. So Keiarna and Greg at home. We got to talk about the scene because we saw this scene last week. And I said, I'm not falling for it because everybody was having really strong reactions to this scene last week. I was like, wait, there's got to be something more. Okay? There's got to be something more in the scene. So I'm sitting here watching the scene like, okay, this is just a hoax. They're setting us up. No. So Keiarna goes over to Greg's house, but she's moving back in. She's bringing her stuff over. They're overcorrecting because the way that he was to her, yes, he wasn't comfortable on camera, but the way that he was to her versus how he is to her now. And I'm not saying that he hasn't changed because she's put her foot down. Things like that could happen, but I feel like it's an overcorrection. The guy that we saw last season in Greg is the guy who Greg is. Point blank, period. What we're seeing now, it's the version that Keiarna wants us to see. The supportive Greg, the, overly affectionate and loving Greg. Beautiful, beautiful house. Apparently her name is not on the deed. I thought you guys were building this house together. So was that a lie last season or is that a lie this season? How are you guys building this house together if your names weren't both on it? Unless maybe once it was finalized and maybe you decided not to put your name. I don't know. I don't even care, to be honest. I don't even care. So Greg says, I got a surprise. First of all, they're having their little moments and you're just like, I'll go out and get your boxes for you because, the rain doesn't affect me. All right. So she decided to move back. Kay says that she decided to move back in with Greg because they have a newfound commitment. Okay. A newfound commitment. And she's now saying that the ring will just be the cherry on top. Okay. So Greg has a gift for Keiarna and he brings it out in this box. So she opens up the box and there are beautiful red roses in it. Beautiful roses. Okay. And there is a box from a jeweler store, the jewelry store that he went to go look at rings. I'm thinking he is going to propose this season, but here's the thing, just because he proposes doesn't mean that they're going to get married. Watch, she had the longest engagement ever. We don't care. We don't care. Keiarna, you like it, we love it for you. So she pulls out the jewelry box, so she's like, uh-oh, it's the jewelry store. And she pulls out the box. And wait, do I have the photo on here? I don't think I have the photo on here because, I do have it on my thing. Because she pulls out the box. And see, this is why I always think of things that I want to add to the live, and then I can't think of it. And now I think of it, and now I want to pull it up. She pulls out the box, and it is just a picture frame from the place. And he says we could put our first photo together in it. He didn't say, let's put our engagement photo in it. To me, that would have been more beautiful to say as opposed to what he was saying in that moment. I'm like, girl, you like it. We love it for you. I could care less. You want to be with this man. You be with this man. I don't give a damn at this particular point. This is what she got in this moment. For those that are watching on socials, this is what she got, a beautiful frame. I didn't know the jewelry store sold frames. But again, right, not even a bracelet. That would have been the thing. But you know what? He just spent all his good money on that ring. I believe he did get the ring, y'all, or some ring. Maybe not the ring that we were looking at. He got her a ring. I'm sure at some particular point this season we're going to see him propose. And again, I'm just not going to care. Because just because he proposes this season, just because they want to kind of drag this out, I don't care. I don't care about their scenes. I don't care if they ever get married. I don't need to see it happen. Again, exactly. Glass Puppy says another Robin. That's exactly what it's feeling like. I don't mind if Robin comes back next season. I don't need her full time. Come as a friend of. Just add that element to the show. I don't need to know about Chu and Juan because it feels fake, forced, and phony. Okay? Because I know too much about what's going on in the DMV about some of these relationships. Okay, to pretend and act as if this is real. Delicious says he got a ring. He definitely got a ring. I believe he's going to propose to her during the season. They're going to give us something. And if they don't, that's going to be even sadder. And because based off of the after show, the way that they're talking about the ring and downplaying the importance of the ring. Oh, damn. Roman says, hold on, Roman. I'm glad I saw this comment. Roman says, no, Kempire, it's an empty picture frame. Don't forget the empty part. Laughing out loud. Okay. Ooh, Saley Iconic says, take K and leave Robin off. Okay, fine. Just saying. The ring didn't mean a thing, huh? The ring doesn't mean a thing. Apparently not to her. Even in the after show when talking about it, she's just like, it's not the importance of it. I feel like they're all downplaying it now so that later on in the season we're going to see him propose. Just because he proposes doesn't mean it's going to actually happen. It wouldn't be surprised to me when she doesn't get her renewal to come back for next season. All of a sudden we're going to hear that Keiarna and that man broke up. Fine. You like it, I love it for you. I don't care anymore. I just don't care anymore. Well, that's true. Smack to You says the ring or a wedding doesn't mean a marriage. But again, and here's the thing. She likes to downplay it now, and all of us are crazy for even talking about it. But girl, you were on this show last season begging for a ring. So we knew what your heart's desire was. And we feel like beautiful woman has her own business. You should be able to go have whatever you want. And Greg's just not it. How old is Keiarna? Because I just feel like, Keiarna, you don't need to settle for this. You don't need to settle for it. You don't even have kids. You don't need to settle for someone that has kids and just got divorced. And I've yet to see any redeeming quality about Greg. She's 37 and she wants kids, right? I haven't seen a redeeming quality that makes it worth you begging for this man. Is it hard in the Baltimore streets? Is it hard in the Baltimore streets? I thought you had big fun in Baltimore. She's 38 now. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I'm sure there are men in Keiarna's DMs as we speak. I hate this for you, though, Keiarna. I really do. But don't make us feel crazy for wanting it for you after you spent last season begging for it. Young Eartha. Thank you so much for the super chat. Young Eartha says, not to be shady, just curious. Did Wendy's mom bleach her skin or do a bleach process? I know it's common in some of our countries. Okay. Y'all ask me this every single week as if we didn't see Wendy's mother a couple of seasons ago looking a different shade. We've talked about the bleaching of the skin. We talked about it on when we recapped Young, Famous, and African. I'm a strong believer in your body, your choice. That's all I got. That's all I got. I'm not going. That's all I got on the topic, to be honest, at this particular point. We saw what the shade was before, and we see what the shade is now. Unless, never mind. Good, moving on. Maddie. Thank you so much for the super chat. Maddie says, mom came in hot. Oh, Wendy, you don't cook? When she was showing her the spice drawer. Kind of broke my heart. Well, parents can be overly critical. Isis, thank you so much for the super chat. Isis says, Wendy may have financed with an HELOC, especially for costly rentals like a kitchen or master bath. Oh. Could be. And again, now that the prosecution is going to have access to all their finances, I feel like there's going to be a lot exposed. I keep telling you guys, based off of the judge's decision this past Friday, if you missed our videos on this, be sure to check it out here on YouTube or listen to the podcast with Taria Faison from the What Else Is Going On podcast. I feel like now that the judge has approved for them to look at 8 years of financial records, it's going to, and they're going to share it to the public because that's what they've been doing, this prosecution. It's going to expose a lot because those 8 years covered the time that she's been on Potomac. So that's going to be interesting. Miyago, thank you so much for Suja. Miyago says, at this point, Angel's conversation about house hunting has taken on a mercurial fashion. I love what you did there, Miyago. That, yes, it definitely has. We've learned a new word because of our girl, Mercurial Angel. Okay, I like that word, mercurial. Mr. Melon Magic, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. So Mr. Melon says, my man, my picture frame, my business, and Greg's feet. Y'all are funny. All right? No. That's funny. That's funny to me. All right. Ms. Esquire, thank you for another super chat. Ms. Esquire says, a picture frame with no picture. How tragic. I mean, that's typically what you would end up doing, right? If you're getting a picture frame for someone, you put like a memory in there. Thank you so much, Kay. Thank you so much, Kay, for the gifting 5 memberships. I appreciate that. Noda Queen, thank you so much for the super chat. Noda Queen says, giving her a tacky picture frame from a jewelry store, knowing how pressed she is for a ring, is pure hatred. I mean, he could have gotten her a piece of jewelry from there. Here's the thing. If he doesn't get her anything from that jewelry store, if she does not get a proposal at all, OMG, if she doesn't get a proposal at all this season, and we're still talking about this at the reunion, you're right. Because if you're going to go to the jewelry store, at the very least, you could have got her a piece of jewelry. Even if you didn't get the ring, if you're not ready. And I can understand, we've talked about Greg and what he's going through with his ex-wife. He just got a divorce, okay? And he's still in the courts dealing with support and things like that. So I can understand his hesitation to get remarried or engaged. But all of this playing in our faces situation, I'm just like, no. Sweetie. Thank you for the super chat. Sweet Tea Talk says, Wendy is so misunderstood. Her mom is her problem. We're going to talk about that in a second. Let me bring up my notes again. Again, guys, if you're just joining us, we are talking about the latest episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. There will not be a new episode of Potomac next week, so you won't be seeing us. So you might see us, but just not talking about Potomac unless something comes out. Just saying. Because it's the holidays. It's Christmas on Thursday. So Merry Christmas to those that celebrate. Happy holidays. Happy belated Hanukkah. Hanukkah just ended. And happy Kwanzaa. We have Kwanzaa the day after. That's when Kwanzaa begins, the day after Christmas. And then we have Happy New Year. A lot. And shout out to those of you that have been tagging me, that I was in your top 5, I was your number 1, that you guys watched. Some of you watched 600, 700 of our videos. I had no idea I put out that many videos this year. The year is not even done. I already put out, I don't know how many videos this week. But thank you all for watching them. All right? That's very important. So thank you. And keep letting me know if I was part of your top YouTube content creators of the year. Coco says, you was my number 3. Why was it number 3? No, I'm playing. Thank you. Jen says, who buys a picture frame from the jewelry store? I mean, I guess. I mean, it's hard to... Nah, it's not hard. Because you go to Marshall's and you get a picture frame. But a nice quality one, I don't know if I would go to the jewelry store for one. I'd probably go to a Pottery Barn or a West Elm. They got some nice ones there. It's hard to find picture frames nowadays. Not hard, but it's not in their usual place. Oh, not even a picture frame. It's hard to find like photo albums and things like that nowadays. I just remember a couple of years ago looking for one. I forgot what we were doing. Something we were doing, like some sort of like event, and we were looking for a photo album. It's like hard to find one. Thank you. All right, Miss Bell said I was the number one. Gus says you are my number two. Love it. All right. Okay. Ariana says I'm in your top 0.02%. I love it. All right. I love it. D. Pegram says Kemp was my top creator for 2025. I also saw 600 videos. Didn't know I watched that many. Kempire is the hardest working man on these YouTube streets. Thank you. I appreciate that. Bonjour. How do you pronounce this? Hold on. Bonjour. I'm going to mess up this. I'm just going to say Nai. Nai says, Bonjour, Camp, watching from Paris. My first live. So excited. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Love it. I got to get to Paris. All right. Rainey says, you are my top 0.1%. You're in that watch group. All right. Thank you so much, Lakia. Lakia says, you are definitely in my top fives. I love this channel and this community. Thank you so much, Lakia. All right. Thank you, Chris. Chris says, I love Kempire. Thank you. I appreciate all the love, y'all. We need more love in this world. Okay. With everything that's going on, we need a lot more love. Okay. Tranquil says, you are my number one. Paula says that my number one. Love it. Oyen says that you are my number one. I watched almost 400 of your videos. Sharjah says, Kemper, you were my number two. Thank you, guys. Chris says, come visit us in Berlin. You know, I've been to Berlin before, right? I went to Berlin a few years ago for Christmas. I literally landed in Berlin on Christmas Day. I don't know what I was thinking because I planned to attend this sort of like orchestra, like this classical orchestra. That night I got dressed up in a tux and everything. And I was in that event. It was beautiful. But remember the time difference. And I ride there. It's the evening. I'm sitting in there like this, eyes low, like I was high, but I wasn't. Okay. And I'm watching it. I'm just like, it was beautiful, though. It was a beautiful experience. I loved Germany because, Germany is great for their Christmas markets. The thing that I would change is I would go to Germany earlier to experience the Christmas, because by Christmas Day, all the Christmas markets are closing. So, but anyway, I love Berlin. So, yeah, I would definitely. Yes, the Philharmonic. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. But again, I probably planned it where the jet lag was kicking my butt that evening. But it was I still got dressed. And I went and had a good old time. I should post that picture. I still have that picture where I took a picture of myself in the elevator on my way to be a part of it. Okay. Yes, Delicious says that Kemp and Brooke Ashley were my number 1 and 2. Thank you, Delicious. All right, let me get back to this, guys, because I still have to watch. Married to Medicine again. I got a lot of thoughts on that. All right, so stay tuned, okay? Keep liking the video, guys. We're almost at 750 likes. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac. Don't forget, we're also going to be having a live show in New York City. Our one night, one man, one mic live show here in New York City at the Green Room 42 on March 13th. That's Friday the 13th. Get your tickets today. There is a live stream available for those that are in Berlin or around the world that would like to still be a part of our unfiltered night of hot topics and so much more. God only knows what we will be talking about come that particular point. Okay, so get your tickets today. There are meet and greet tickets available. Make sure you're paying attention to the different options. You can choose where you would like to sit, but you could also choose if you would like to attend the show, but also get the meet and greet. You can also get a live stream ticket. That's all the way at the bottom of the buy ticket screen. All right. Let me move on. All right, so where are we? Keiarna and Greg at home. So, yeah, picture. That's all we got. Picture frame. She got a picture frame. That's all we got in that scene. That's all. Girl, you like it. We love it for you. All right? But then they end up talking about putting her name on the deed. And he said, if you get married. And she's like, not if. You mean when? He's like, wait, when we get married? You want to know when? She's like, no, it's not if. It's when. He's like, oh, yeah. He doesn't see the big deal in putting her name on the deed. And I'm just like, why wouldn't you? Like, why wouldn't you? And they talk about they only plan to stay in this particular home for 5 years. Y'all built this home and y'all only plan to stay in it for 5 years? I mean, I'm not judging because we're going to talk more about that when we talk about Toya later on during Married to Medicine's recap. But all right, Ariana. Ariana says, I'm planning my trip to come Kempire. She's coming from the DMV. DMV, come on up to New York City. It's only I did it to y'all. Y'all can come see me. Okay? All right. Housewife from a housewife says that a picture frame is very embarrassing. Especially because of how it's been built up to us. It is very embarrassing. I know this might be for some sort of big reveal. Maybe. I'm hoping for you, girl. Some sort of big reveal. It's not going to land the same because at this particular point, the audience doesn't care. We've had so many moments of just lame moments from Greg. I told you during the after show, they talked about, Ashley and Giselle both talked about how Greg came to the premiere party for Potomac and he had like all these diamonds. He came out iced out and I think this is all Keiarna's doing. Like she's giving him a whole little makeover. Okay. Anytime he's going to be seen on camera, she's going to make sure that he looks flossed up. Okay. So they said that he was wearing all these diamonds at the premiere party, and Giselle stopped him. She's like, well, you ain't gonna take one of those diamonds and put a ring on Keiarna's finger? And he was just like, oh. Okay, I'm like, okay. So if he could afford all those diamonds around his neck, but I agree with Giselle here. You can easily take a diamond off of one of those things or take a couple of diamonds off of those and got an engagement ring. But okay, and they said this at the premiere parties, which makes me believe that they didn't get engaged during the season. Unless they're just saying that for the after show. I don't know. All right, girl, you like it. I love it for you. Moving on. Tia and her half-sister, Amira. We get to the scene. Beautiful. First of all, Tia's beautiful. Amira's beautiful. I think Tia's having a good season. Have I loved everything with Tia? No. Do I think everything Tia's telling us is the truth? Not necessarily, but I enjoy. Tia has her own personal story. Tia has held her own this season. I think she's actually a good addition. I think she's a good addition. Is she a perfect addition? No one ever is. Okay, well, besides Stacey. She really has been. But Tia, I feel like, is holding her own. I like the scene with her sister, her half-sister. So she says that she's spoken with her children about Amira and how that came about, but she hasn't really talked about the timeline. Okay? So Tia then tells us about the story about how she found out about her half-siblings. She says she was about 12 years old when it happened. She says apparently Tia saw Amira when she was just a baby. And she thinks that she probably would have been more open to having a relationship with Amira if her mother was a little bit more open to that. But she was team her mom, rightfully so. She says she's still team her mom. But she says it was after when her father passed that she was more open to connecting with her half-siblings. And they get emotional talking about this because when her father died, she called Amira and said, you know, you should know that you are loved. And they get emotional talking about that because it was like the first time. Because Tia says when she was having her wedding, her father wanted to invite Amira. And Tia's like, this day, it's not about you, it's about me. But now she looks back on that, now that her father's passed on, that he wanted all of his children together. He wanted all of them to get along. It was a really beautiful moment. It really was. I enjoyed this scene with Tia and her sister because it felt authentic. It felt like healing, you know, and especially when we've been talking about her father a lot this season. So I'm interested in Tia coming back next season. But Tia, if there's any sort of lies that you're hiding, girl, you need to get ahead of them. I'm not saying that there are. I'm just saying if there are, I need you to get ahead of them. Like, why haven't you been to Chicago in the 20 years that you've been married to this man? Why? Just wondering, okay? The math about when you got with him versus when you didn't, I don't know. But I thought this was a beautiful scene, okay? And now they're working on their relationship now, the sisters. So I think this is beautiful, okay? The final scene of Real Housewives of Potomac this week. Wendy at home. She's with her family and she wants to show off the renovations to her mom and sister. So her mom shows up at the door and they're like, surprise! And Wendy and Cameron are matching outfits. Cute, beautiful family. One of the things that I love that they talked about during the after show is how they're raising their children differently, Wendy and Eddie, in regards to the children have a voice. And that's very cultural as well, where the kids do not have a voice. Okay? So she talked about this in the after show, Wendy, and the other women talk about how they're trying to raise their children differently than how they were raised. Okay? Particularly Wendy, saying that her children have a voice. Okay? So Wendy gives her mother a tour of the house. The interior designer is actually there as well. All right. The mother sees the black toilet paper. She's like, what's this? Fine. I wanted to see more of the house. Based on what we saw, that entire floor was renovated. It looked great. Okay. So we're getting an overview of what everything looks like. Susan says that the renovation must have cost a lot. This stuff just doesn't land. You know, I told you, coming into the season, trying to put aside what's currently going on with Wendy, but it's hard because there's just so many breadcrumbs to the finances during the season. So the mother says, this must have cost an arm and a leg. And Wendy's like, it did, but it was worth it. She says, but it was worth it. I hope it was. I mean, it was. It looks great. It looks great. But would I to lie, cheat, and steal to get a kitchen in a house that looks like that? No.
No. I am not doing it. I will live in my apartment, okay? With my stunning views and terrace stuff.
But I'm living within my means, okay? Once I get the billionaire husband, I could get a little bit more, okay? But just saying. All right, fine. So then they start eating, I've never had jollof rice, but I think I would love it. Why haven't I had it? I live in New York. I just have never had it. I had Ethiopian food for the first time a few weeks ago. I need to have me some jollof rice. I think I would love it. Like, that food looks delicious. With the plantains. Is that where the Jamaicans and the Caribbean get the plantains from? Is it from Africa? Probably. The plantains looks good, right? Oh, Miss Oscar says you need both Ghanaian and Nigerian jollof. I know. Chris says, what? I've never had it, and I think I would love it. I think I would love it. Oh, there's a Lagos restaurant in New York. Southern Bombshell says, all right. Stay tuned. I'll do a video. Aisha says that, Cam, you would love jollof rice. I know. I kind of think I would too. Look, I wonder if I can order that on DoorDash. Keisha, she says, Kempire, you being in New York City, you should be ashamed. Okay. Here come the diaspora wars. Gambian jollof is the best. Don't stone me. I mean, I'm willing to try all. I love a good rice. Okay. But just looking at the rice, I was like, I want some. Okay. Fat says you probably could. Okay. All right. Fumi says, hold on, Fumi. Fumi says, Kempire, let me invite you over for some yummy jollof rice. Where do you live? In New York? I'll come knock on your door and we're going to record it. Guess what? I'm at Fumi's house. Callie says, been to Ghana. I know how we have such sidebars. We're not talking about, but it's all related. Cal says, been to Ghana and Nigeria. Nigerian jollof is better. Well, I'll be the judge of that. Okay? I'll be the judge. I mean, I do too. Hold on. Jody says, I prefer it to rice and peas, even though I'm Jamaican. Oh, see, well, I can't say anything yet. Should I get some jollof rice for Christmas? Where can I find one? I'm sure I can find it. Stay tuned. All right. You all are having a reaction. Shout out to the replay crew. Replay crew, I know you're going to have a reaction to this particular segment of the show, but also let me know your thoughts on this week's episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac as well. All right. Oh, okay. Here we go. Everyone's fighting. All right. Mrs. T says, Ghanaian here. And she says, ours is the best. Well, I am willing to try both. Okay. All right. Jason says, get it in Jamaica, Queens. You're right. Shout out to Queens. Queens is so diverse. You can get all the foods in Queens. Right? She goes, wait, Shyga? Or Shy? No, Shy Gamer Girl. Shy Gamer Girl says, not Cal trying to start a war in the chat. No, we're not going to war. All the foods are good. All right? Asha says, I'm Gambian and very biased. I'm willing to try both. Desiree says, not for Christmas camp. Why not? The Jamaicans, if we're doing anything for the holidays, it's going to be traditional Jamaican food. So why not? You know I got Nigerian roots, right? All right, I'm Igbo. Sorry, damn. It was giving Timu. That's why I was thinking of Timu. Anyway, just saying, did my 23andMe, Nigerian, me and Stacy. I'm probably more Nigerian than Stacy. Okay. Oh, hold on. Y'all giving me tips. Miss N. Kesey says, Kemp, order from Buka, Lagos or Native. Oh, okay. All right, noted. Look, now I'm hungry, y'all. Oh, Butterfly Soldier says, I see the New York City influencers talking about Village Kitchen in Brooklyn. I don't know about these New York City. Are they native New Yorkers or are they gentrifiers? All right, let me move on. All right, guys. Don't forget, I'm Team Naughty. Look at my t-shirt. Team Naughty, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all the good things. All right. Excommunicado says, not Ibu. Kempire about to create a whole new Nigerian ethnic group. I spoke too quickly, okay? This is live, okay? Yes, be blessed. My brother. Yes, come on. Yeah, that's my, I did my 23andMe. It told me. Okay? All right, focus. Let me finish this off. Oh, here come the diaspora wars in the chat. All right. So Wendy, because I have a lot to say about this Wendy and Susan stuff, okay? So Susan is throwing out that this must have cost an arm and a leg, all right? Wendy's making a plate for herself, and she's like, is that plate for me? She's like, it can be, all right? So she tells her mom that she had a great conversation with her father. Wendy's sister says she doesn't want Wendy to get her hopes up. Because Wendy's sister is basically, she's like, I'm done with the father. Remember, Wendy has not seen her father physically in 20 years. He lives in Nigeria. I don't know how often she goes back to Nigeria. I know she just went back in December. Apparently, she was disappointed because she went back hoping to see him, and he disappointed her and didn't show up. Yeah. You know, so that's important to note. Because he could talk a big game, talk about, oh, I love you, I miss you, but are you really going to show up? Okay? During the after show, Wendy does say that she's been communicating with her father. They've been having a steady communication. Miss Esquire says, Wendy's sister the eldest? I believe so, right? Is Wendy's sister the eldest? I think so, right? Delicious says that Wendy's sister's being realistic and I can't blame her. I can't blame her either. And she's saying that she doesn't want Wendy to get her hopes up. Fine. But also, I'm not going to say, Wendy, don't try and have a relationship with your father. And again, we probably don't know the full details, unless she's tried many, many times and he's disappointed her over and over and over again. Then it's sort of like, girl, don't come to us talking to us about you trying to have a relationship with your father. Because he's disappointed you time after time after time. So that's important to keep in mind. I don't know. I don't know if he's disappointed her many, many other times over the years. So it could be, but we don't know. Okay? So Wendy's sister just says that don't get your hopes up. Susan says that the father is just a sperm donor. Mind you, the kids are there. And she's like, oh, because the sister accidentally says, I think, that, he helped give birth to you. Susan's like, he helped give birth to her? I gave birth to her, which is true. I mean, he helped in the making of it. But yeah, she gave birth. So Susan then says he's just a sperm donor. And the kids are there, and Wendy is just like, take Cameron upstairs. And the mother's still going off. So Wendy puts her finger up, and she's just like, wait a minute. And she's like, do not put your finger up. Is that disrespectful? Everyone can have their viewpoints on that. Here's my thing. I think Wendy has needed to put a foot down with her mother a long time ago. I do believe that, because the Mama Joyce of it all. Maybe if Candy put her finger up one time to Mama Joyce, we wouldn't be where we are today. Well, I don't know. But I'm okay with putting your foot down, okay? But should she have put her finger up? The Wendy of it all, okay? The Stacy of it all, I mean. So she's just like, hold on a minute. So that's what sets the mother off. The mother's like, do not put your finger up to me. You do not know this is why you don't know your Nigerian culture. And she's just like, you're disrespectful. So it really takes a turn for the worse. Okay? And Wendy's just like, she's trying to get the kids upstairs. She's like, you can say what you want to say, but you're not going to say it in front of my children. I respect Wendy. She's just like, you're not going to say all these toxic things that you said to me when I was a kid. You're not going to do that around the children who I'm trying to foster a relationship with, his grandchildren with them. So I was like, okay, I get it. She doesn't want the kids to be around any of this. And because she also knows that her mother doesn't have a filter. Okay? So things get really heated. All right, between Wendy and Susan. Susan says that she didn't come there to hear about the man that abandoned them. Because then there's that aspect of it. And this is why I twerk on the fence when it comes to Wendy and Susan. Because I understand that Susan feels the way that she feels about this man, that she says abandoned them, left them, has not been there for the children. She had to work multiple jobs to take care of the kids so that they could be successful, so that they could have the life that they have for themselves now. She feels like she did all of that on her own. I'm not going to fault her for that. She's going to feel the way that she feels, okay? One of the things that Wendy said during the after show was the fact that she sort of like backtracked on how she felt about it in the moment in the scene. But she's like, one of the things her mother never did was say that she couldn't have a relationship with her father. Based off the scene, I'm surprised that Wendy said that, because based off the scene, it felt like she doesn't want you to have a relationship with the father. But I don't know. According to Wendy, her mother never said that she couldn't have a relationship with her father. Okay? So Susan's going off, and she's just like, I did everything for you, and you and your sister. The sister is chiming in with the mother and having the mother's back. Wendy, you can see in this moment, resorts back to being that little scared girl. I don't know if you all saw it in that moment. I saw it. Exactly. Cynthia says that Susan says it without saying it. Her reactions like this says to me, you do not want me to have a relationship with my father at all. Okay? But I also understand where Susan's coming from. She feels like this man abandoned us. I had to work all the time in order to give these two young women a chance in life, and you did nothing. Okay? So, Wendy and her mother are having this back and forth, and then it calms down for a second. Eddie comes out during the conversation, because at one particular point, he left with the kids, and he was in the office. The kids went upstairs. He ends up coming out, and then Susan's like, oh, Eddie, you coming to protect Wendy? And he's like, no, I'm just trying to settle things down. He's like, I'm just trying to settle things down. And Wendy, and I see, there's so much about Wendy that we don't know. And we could blame production. We can blame her that she hasn't shared up. We've seen, I think the signs and symptoms of what Wendy has gone through and how she's grown up has been part of the reason why Wendy comes across the way that she comes across sometimes to the other women, to the audience. Some people feel like Wendy's not very likable. I think it's this protectiveness of because of how she grew up culturally and also specifically with her particular mom and not having a father around too. She did have her stepdad, but remember her stepdad also died pretty early on in her life as well. So it gets really, really crazy because Wendy starts getting emotional. And she says that that her family always does this to her because her mother was also getting emotional. But I think if you've grown up with Caribbean parents, African parents, it's a lot of the same stuff. And her mother gets emotional. She's like, "Here you go, trying to have a moment." And Wendy starts getting emotional, and she really resorts down to being a child again. That's what I see in this moment because she feels like her sister and her mother are ganging up on her. And I think that's part of the reason why she wants to form a relationship with her dad, because she feels like in this relationship with her mom and her sister, when they're on the same page about something, they ice her out. So then she's like, I have no one. So now she's trying to find someone, and Eddie's probably been that for her. Her own family has been that for her, that she has her family to turn to. But when it comes to at home, when it comes to with her mom and sister, she feels iced out from them. And now in this moment, that's what we're seeing. So she gets really upset, and she's just like, this is what they always do. They gang up on her. And at one particular point, Susan tells Wendy to shut the F up. Tells Wendy, and she said it with her full chest. Shut the F up. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, what is going on? So Wendy's getting emotional. Eddie's trying to console her, and she's like, I just want them to effing leave. And her sister's like, you want us to leave? So her sister packs up her stuff, and she ends up leaving. And then the mom ends up walking out too, upset. She's just, honestly, here's the thing. I could see where the mother's coming from in regards to why she might feel a way about Wendy having a relationship with the father. But if that's what Wendy wants to do, she should allow Wendy to have that. She's a grown adult. She can have whatever relationship she wants to have with the father. And apparently the conversation went well. It didn't need to turn into this big blow up. It didn't need to turn into shut the F up, Wendy. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm like, no, Wendy, you need to draw a line in the sand. It makes me wonder, and I wonder if we will see it next season. It makes me wonder if we will see some of this play out in regards to like how are the family reacting to what Wendy's going through. It would be interesting to see that if the father is really showing up for Wendy with all the legal drama that she's going through. And I wonder if Wendy's mother is showing up for her in that way. It will be interesting. It will be interesting to know the family dynamic now with everything that they're going through. But what I do appreciate based off the after show, Wendy is trying to raise her kids very differently than the way she was raised. And allowing them to have more of a voice. And one thing I will say about Wendy's kids versus Tia's kids, not to compare, but we are. Tia allows her kids to have a voice, but they're disrespectful. I can't say the same with Wendy's kids. I don't feel like they're like disrespectful. She allows them to have a voice, but they're not disrespectful. Jay says, I'm sorry, those tears were not falling. Whose tears? Susan's or Wendy's? I felt Wendy was definitely emotional in that moment. But we shall see. I keep telling you, I feel like this legal drama is going to secure Wendy's spot, at least until the finalization of the court situation. The court situation, they will go to trial April of next year. So if they're filming the reunion in January, they will start filming. They normally start filming around the spring. Okay, Aunt, I was thinking it, but I was going to leave it alone. Especially when we got the full walk away of the outfit. Ant says, Kempire, I just want to know, what was Ivy wearing? It was not flattering. And the shoes. I was like, fine. Fine. Okay. Fine. All right, y'all. That's how the scene ended. That's how the scene ended for Real Housewives of Potomac. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. Easy, free way of supporting the channel. Let's get to callers, right? Let's get to the callers. All right. So keep in mind, the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, TheKempire LLC, or our sponsors. They agreed to abide by our 30-second timer. I have to get off of here by 2 o'clock, guys, because I have to rewatch Married to Medicine. If not, this is why I will be late. Okay? So let me get to the call. We already have our members that are waiting so patiently behind the scenes. Oh, wait, before we get to our members, guys, let's get to 900 likes. I'll drop the call link for everyone in the general audience. Dina, thank you so much for the super chat. Dina says, Greg will propose at the reunion to get her to season 11. If that is what happens at the reunion, I'm going to just say this respectfully. We don't care. Actually, disrespectfully. We do not care. Greg. Keith, thank you so much for super chat. Greg. Keith says, at this point, Kay just needs to propose to Greg. If you're going to act desperate, why not go all the way? She can find a better man at Home Depot, which we talked about. Is Dr. Miss Honey here? D the Stallion, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. D says, Wendy talking about finance is not aging well. I know. Thank you so much for another super chat. Sweet Tea Talks says, she never said Wendy was ugly. She just bleached. Huh? She never said that Wendy was ugly. She just bleached. Are we talking about Susan? All right. All right. Let's get to the callers. Again, don't forget to keep liking the video, guys. Don't forget to share the video. The opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, TheKempire LLC, or our sponsors. Ty, did you send the peach ornament, or did you send? Which ornament did you send? Because whoever sent the peach ornament, unfortunately, when it was sent, Amazon it sent it and it was broken. I did a live, but then someone sent me this one from the Pink Light Foundation for sickle cell. So this is their ornament. So thank you. Thank you to everyone that sent ornaments and gifts and cards for the holidays. I've put some of them on the tree. Okay. All right. Let me hold on. Let me get to Nia. Nia's backstage. We're going to bring Nia up first. Nia, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know if anyone else felt like this, but when they had the Bring Eddie Out t-shirts on, I had a That's So Raven moment where I literally thought of Free Up Eddie t-shirts of fans standing outside protesting.
No.
Allegedly.
No.
I know. I don't know. I just had a That's So Raven moment. I'm sorry.
No.
But anyways, on Wendy's note, as an African, I do feel bad for her, but at the same time, she should have known better to address something like that, especially just so nonchalantly in front of her kids. She's the one who brought it up, mind you. And on national television. I know, anyways, but yeah, thank you for your time.
Thanks,
Bye.
Nia. Take care. Oh, Ty, yeah. And I got your message about how you were looking for it, and it was all shattered. Well, not all shattered. It was broken though. I still have it in the case. So I don't know what we need to do to it, do for it. But yeah, it came broken, unfortunately. But thank you. All right, let me bring up Duchess D. Duchess D, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. Happy Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that good stuff.
You too.
Again, I'm going to give free advice to Angel and to the ladies. At the reunion, if there's anyone to come for, it's Ashley Darby. She's giving you material to come for. And I think Charisse is okay with her, fooling around with her son. One, because Charisse wants to be back on the show, and two, because Charisse don't see her as a real friend. And similarly to the super chat, I also think that Greg is going to propose at the reunion, but we will not care. And for Susan and Wendy, I do think Wendy's reaction was just a very immediate reaction to her not wanting her kids to hear that language.
Yeah.
And I do think Susan could have at least waited until the kids left before she started using the language that she did. But that's all I have.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
You too. Thanks, Luscious D. All right. Shannon's backstage. Shannon, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. So first point, Ashley, I just think she's just as predatory as her ex-husband. As Karen has said in season 4, she said, I see why they married each other. They're both moldy, mildewy, and messy. Second thing, Tia, I really, really loved her, the conversation that she had with her sister. It was very beautiful. I liked how she came to terms with her shortcomings and she wanted to progress in that relationship. And I thought it was very good that they're in a good place.
Yes.
Wendy's blowout with her mother really, really like triggered me because I've been there before. I grew up in a Caribbean household. My mother's Jamaican. And to be cornered like that, it's just a lot to deal with. And I hope they get to a better place, honestly. But with everything that's going on, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you for your time, Kempire.
Thanks, Shannon. Take care.
Bye.
I know a lot of people were probably triggered by that conversation with when no matter Nigerian, like Shannon just said, Jamaican. I can see it. I can see it. All right, let me bring up Miss Bernice next. Miss Bernice, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Potomac?
What up, Joe? Season's greetings, everyone. Capricorn Nation. Okay, my birthday Saturday.
Happy early birthday.
When watching this show, I hope Sharice's son has been checked out by the health department because that Ashley ho 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 is for the streets. Okay? Dealing with a toxic parent, which Wendy has, she needs to, in order to have a peace of mind, she's going to have to slowly but surely cut her relationship with her mother. Because she's not going to keep peace with her mother in the house. And her sister is just like her mother. So if it means cutting your mother and your sister out of your life, in order for you to get peace and your family to get peace, do it. That's for anybody. Yeah. Cut the toxicity out of your life for you to have a better life. Because you're not going to, I'm telling you, not to disrespect my kids with your language, and you're still going to do it and then want to check you and say, stop, mama. And you're going to look at me like I'm wrong. You got to go.
All right. Happy early birthday, Miss Bernice.
Huh?
Happy early birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Enjoy.
I will. That's for anybody. It doesn't matter you black or white, green or yellow. That toxic parenting, cut it out your life for you to have a better life. That's my PSA for the day.
All right. Thanks, Miss Bernice.
Okay. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Shout out to all the Capricorns. It's Capricorn season now, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Daphne's backstage. Daph, what did you want to share?
Hello. Good afternoon. Long time no speak.
Yes. What's going on?
Well, I want to say happy early birthday to Miss Bernice. That's also my son's birthday, so kudos. And quickly, so with Angel, what especially after listening to the after show, I realized with her daughter being 1, I think when they planned to move, she got pregnant. So maybe they put everything on pause, and then, because a lot of the stress of the move may not be that great for a person who's pregnant. They also had the other child. And then for Wendy, so sorry. I just feel that she needs to understand her family's triggers and just realize that they may not be where she is, and just for everyone to respect where each person is. And that's it. Happy holidays, my dear.
You too. Enjoy, and happy early birthday to your son.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. All right. Let's bring up Angel. Angel, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Potomac?
Hey, Kempire, happy holidays.
You too.
So I think most of the episode was low-hanging fruit that we can easily pick on because we've been talking about Kay and Greg forever. So I just want to talk about Wendy and her mom. Some moms are bitter after divorce, especially when that child may favor the father a little bit more. And I think that's probably why Ivy and her mom team up against Wendy and take it out on her that she's still trying to build a relationship with her dad, regardless of if he's been there. If they want to start from point A as it being today and just building a relationship before he passes away, her mom should grant her the respect and let her make that decision instead of leading her down the wrong path like she did to renovate that house that we know is worth no money, and now she's in the trouble that she's in present day. That's it. And happy birthday, early birthday, Miss Bernice. That's it. Have a good one, Kim.
Bye, Angel. Damn, Angel's so sweet, and then all of a sudden, she'll get you. All right, let's get to some more calls, guys. Just drop the call link for the general audience as well. Keep liking the video. We're almost at 1,000 likes. RC, thank you so much for the super chat. RC says, I think Wendy hoped the presence of her kids and the cameras would keep her mother's reaction tempered, but it didn't work. Has she met her mother? Like, even we know that that's not going to stop her mother's reaction. Paula, thank you so much for the super chat. Paula says, did you catch Eddie said that she wanted a new ring for the to the other guys? Can that be used in court? We talked about that. I definitely mentioned that we were talking about that earlier. Masha Labit says, thank you for the super chat. I took my mom healing for us both to heal together. Thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate the support. All right, let me bring up Noda Queen next. Noda Queen, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire. Merry Christmas and all that. Did you see that they released Renee's bank statements, the alienation of affection thing?
No.
Yeah, she appealed. They denied the appeal, but they released her bank statements, and she was making $25,000 a month, which is why she was made to pay $1.7 million.
Oh.
But overdrafting every month.
Damn. Well, that's what I said. Y'all think people making money on these social media streets, but
she was making money. She was just spending it just as fast as she's making it. But that made me think. I thought of that with Wendy's whole situation. It's making me a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. But with Wendy's situation with her mom, she's not responsible for anybody in her family's triggers but her own. They're in her house. They have to be respectful. Yes, there's a part of her culture, but we have to acknowledge that there's a lot of toxic parts of the culture within the. Her mom. Respectful. She needs to get in check. She needs to respect Wendy's house, her children, all that. It's simple as that.
Yeah. Thank you, Noda Queen.
Thank you.
I didn't expect the Brene tea. That's a whole TikTok situation. Miss Esquire said that $25,000 a month, baby. What am I doing over here with degrees? I need to take this bra off and set up my Miss Esquire's backstage. Miss Esquire, how dare you? Let me take my bra off.
You know it's true, honey. I need to let them things hang low, like the sweet chariots on Brene's chest. My God,
I don't see why you would. I don't know if you're really interested in doing, but you should be. You know, people love your opinions on here.
Me trying to get into your mentor program. I really want to talk.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that later. Yeah, we'll talk about that because I'll be down. Go ahead.
Let me just say this with Angel. I think we just all need to accept that Angel is not the financial head of that household. She does not manage that household. So everything that she's saying is nonsensical because she's actually not making the decisions. She's very new to the WAG lifestyle. And I don't say that as shade. I think Bobby manages their household. So I think that's the reason why the decisions are being made in a way that she can't explain. Also, it has to do with production stuff. Let me get to this because I did not expect to jump into the Holy Ghost fire with Miss Susan, but that's exactly what I'm about to do. We put too much pressure on single mothers who are abandoned by men and make messes in the lives of their lives and their children's lives. We put too much pressure on single women to not also then villainize those men. Okay, now listen, I'm raising 2 children without any help from their fathers. I try not to villainize those men, but I'm not also going to idolize them. You're going to figure out who your daddy is. And I get to hold on to my pain. It's not bitterness. It's pain. That woman is in pain. Yeah. And seeing her daughter vie for a relationship with a man who abandoned them years ago and left them to their own devices is hurtful. And I can't imagine what it might look like in 10 years for me to watch my babies vie for the relationship with men who have not cared about their literal existence. It would hurt me to my core. And I would have a hard time regulating my emotions in front of their children too.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, let's please have some grace for where Miss Susan is sitting with this.
Yeah.
Because that's a hard thing to watch my child sit up here. And I think her sister Ivy, because she's the oldest, she sat closer to her mother's experience struggling raising them. And she probably has experienced more of the abandonment from their father than even Wendy can recall because she is the oldest. That might be why she's aligning with her mother. Now, does Wendy have the right to set her boundaries? Absolutely she does. I'm with it. But please, everybody, have some grace for what that woman is experiencing.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Love you. Happy holidays.
You too, Miss Esquire.
Bye.
Hey, wait, Miss Esquire, is this the first Christmas with the kids or no? Oh, she hung up. Well, you let me know in the chat. All right. Okay, we have a long line. Let me get through these calls, guys. No one else can go over the timer. Okay, April, what's going on? What did you want to share? April, are you there? You muted.
Sorry, Kempire. Hi, I'm feeling much better. This episode was a little bit lukewarm for me, but it was still enjoyable. And Kempire, do you hear something? Like, listen real closely. That is Keiarna out the window chirping for that ring and trying to get a proposal. And I feel like Wendy definitely should have set boundaries with her mom. I understand it because I grew up in a similar situation, not as, like toxic, but my mom still allowed me to develop my relationship with my father. And you can still go get therapy. There's no excuse. You have resources to work through that. And also, like Tia, I found out about my sibling when I was in high school. So I completely get it. Yeah. We're cool now. I'm an aunt, so, we're all good. Happy holidays.
You
Have
too,
a good day,
April.
Kempire.
Take care. Okay. Miss Esquire said, I couldn't remember. It's like, me in time, Miss Esquire. I can't remember everything. It's my 4th Christmas with my kids and not a Christmas gift ever from their fathers. Well, damn, time flies. It's the 4th? OMG. See, I'm not good with time. Like, I'm stuck in one, but I'm like, did you just get those kids? Mind you, I saw Miss Esquire at my Nashville show, was like 2 years ago, right? OMG, Lord. Okay. All right, let me get through the rest of these calls. Keith is backstage, another Virgo. Speaking of Virgos, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
Actually, first thing first, thank you for rigging the raffle so I can win. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you know what? That is not true.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. But also, I was really just calling because Wendy's mom, that whole scene really aggravated me. Now, I've never been in that situation in particular, but I do know people that have, and I'm just annoyed when I see parents try to utilize their own experience with the father against the child. Now, my thing is, I don't think Wendy was saying her father was doing things that Susan wasn't doing. She was just opening up to her mother as you would as a child want to do with your parent and just let them know on the situation that you have with the other partner. I think Susan really needs to let this whole situation go because she, at the 40 years, she looks real bitter. She's been married since then, had another child with that husband. I think it's time to use a different approach. That's just what I think. But that's it.
All right. Thanks, Keith. Keith is lying to y'all. Okay, he's lying to y'all. Shout out to our winners from the holiday giveaway earlier on Friday. There we go. All right. Toy is backstage. We're going to bring Toy up next. Toy, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
I just want to say I understand where Wendy's coming from, and I understand where her mom is coming from. The mom was probably a single married mother, and then the man left and went to another continent, and I'm sure he wasn't paying child support. But Wendy, like a lot of adult children, they feel guilt because they know their parents have less time left on this earth, and they want to salvage the time that they have. So I understand where both are coming from, but you cannot be disrespectful, but that's how African parents are, Caribbean parents, we Jamaican, we still children, but we grown as heck. So I get it. Kay, why do we know that Bose is engaged, so it's not a secret. If Kay was engaged, it wouldn't still be a secret, right? So Wait, what is that for?
I was like, good point.
Yeah, I don't think she's engaged, y'all. Happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Thanks.
I see you soon for Married to Medicine.
Yes, bye. All right, we have a long line, so my Married to Medicine recap might be a little bit late. So y'all have to be patient, okay? All right, because I like to get to our callers. We got 2,000 people watching on multiple platforms. Kathy, we're gonna bring up next. Kathy, what did you want to share in regards to Potomac?
Okay, happy holidays. So I just want to share that with Wendy, just about Wendy, I can relate that relationship with her mom. I had the same relationship with my mother, and my mother did not like the fact that I was close to my dad. But what happens is I feel like with Wendy and all of the 4 degrees, the house, all these things of trying to be accepted and validated starts with her mom. And even coming on the show where they first did not accept her, I think it triggered her to now have to change her image, change how she looks, present herself, and it all goes back to the mom trying to be validated, accepted, and get approval from now the audience, but also her mom.
Yeah.
She needs to fix that relationship. My mom passed on, but I still find trying to get her to, when she was alive, I want her to accept me. So I have like all these different certificates and degrees, and it always like it was never enough. Because I wanted my mother to say, you're doing a great job, but she would never say that. She will always say something negative and always bring my father into it, even though he died years, like he died a long time ago, but she still heard that we were close because she wanted me to hate him as much as she hated him. And I felt the same way that Wendy mother is feeling towards Wendy. I want you to hate your dad as much as I hate your dad, your dad.
So were you triggered watching that scene?
Yeah, it was. It was because I'm still going through a battle right now with my brother, who was my mother's favorite, and she passed away. So we're in the state battle. So yeah, it was a trigger because my brother took my mother's side, and me, I never took one side. I let them both equally, but my mother was always hard on me because I had that good relationship with my father.
Wow.
So I felt Wendy. I felt her, and I also see that's why she got into this.
Kathy, you broke up a little bit.
I think okay. I'm back.
Okay.
I got a phone call. All right. I'm so sorry, but I just wanted to share that.
All right. Thanks, Kathy. Take care. Yeah, I did. Watching the scene, I was like, this explains so much more to me about why Wendy is the way that she is and why she might be in the situation that she's in. I'm going to break a fourth wall. The fourth wall of my house. When watching it, I said to myself, put Susan right next to her in the jail. I'm sorry, y'all. Can I just be honest with you? Can I just share my really unfiltered thoughts? I said, put Susan next to her in the jail because I blame her too. But not really, because you're an adult now, Wendy. Calm down. You're an adult now. So, put Susan right next to her in the jail. Sorry. Let me bring Elle up next. Elle, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire mods and chat. So I'm not calling about any advice how to deal with parent-child dynamics. My mom's name is Joyce, so I already got a Mama Joyce in my life. So I can't help with a Mama Susan. So I was just going to say I was calling because of the show. As far as Potomac, I'm pretty much happy because Beverly Hills has been a snooze fest. So as far as Potomac, I'm not going to give them a hard time. The only thing is with that event, they need to step it up. And maybe with the casting, they can figure out, I know everybody feels a way about Charisse, but she would not have had an event with Popeye's Chicken. And then, we should think about how, because even Keiarna, when she did a little event, she had a chef at her condo. So, we have to give credit where credit is due for those who are stepping up. That's all.
I agree. Thanks, Elle. I will say this. Keiarna does, she confessionals, fashion, looks. On paper, she would be a fantastic housewife. Her personality is not that great, though. Just saying. TJ, what's going on? What did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire. Happy holidays.
You too.
Okay, so first of all, can we get freed from Giselle and Ashley? Can they free us, please? Because I'm tired. There's no storyline for years. And then Keiarna and Greg, I just feel like when they were talking about ownership of the condo, I was like, girl, if that's not the time to run, I don't know when it is. Because he's like, if you get married, not even if we get married. I was like, ooh, Greg, And then with Wendy, Penwen and Sue Pen, I don't know. I just feel like, Wendy's mom was cruel. She was so cruel. She can feel how she feels, but she didn't have to be cruel. She was extremely cruel to Wendy. And creating that environment was just unnecessary, right? And then, yeah, I just feel like, yeah, kick Ashley off. And then one last thing quickly, with Stacy and her husband, Germans are very stoic. I used to work for a German lady, and they're very stoic people, and they're very straightforward. So I don't think they would have been, or they would have understood his language when he spoke to them in terms of like his demeanor. So yeah, I think it was great that he left because yeah, I wouldn't want to be doing that, working at Audi, top management, all of that. Bye, guys. Just
Yeah,
bye.
good point. Thanks, TJ. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, he's probably like, I'm limiting the amount of time that I'm going to be on camera here because we also like his work. I could see it. He also probably doesn't feel like he vibes with them. I could get it. I get it. I mean, you got Bobby, a couple of words. You know what I mean? Like, you got Greg, who seems to only know a couple of words. You know what I mean? Like, now that I think about it, the only person that seems personable is Eddie. I need like a date night with them. All right, let me get through the rest of these callers. Anthony's backstage. Anthony, what did you want to share?
You're good. I'm good. I'm calling from LA. Okay. So I'm going to give this episode a 6 out of 10. I thought it was okay. 2 notes: Wendy's parents and Wendy's home. When Wendy should not be bringing up her dad in front of her mother and sister. They definitely have a different experience than Wendy did in regards to the father. So Wendy, if she wants to start a new relationship with him, by all means, she's an adult, do that. But don't disrespect your mother and sister by bringing him up in conversation or updates or things like that. That's just my take. Lastly, on Wendy's home, money well spent. That kitchen, the living room, all of it looks gorgeous. I need a home tour. And also, lastly, I want to see if they did the pool already. Is it done or did they start it? Or
No,
what's
they were
going
just
on?
talking about it, Anthony. They were just talking about it.
I just want to. Okay, well, that's all I have to say.
Definitely not happening now.
Happy holidays, everyone.
You too, Anthony. Take care. Bye. Yeah, they were just talking about a pool. They ain't getting a pool. At least I don't think so. Oof. All right. Let's bring up Brandy next. Brandy, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Potomac?
Hey, Kempire. How are you?
Well, how are you?
Good. You were my number 2 in my recap also.
Thank
you. I just wanted to say this episode, something that really like irritated me besides Wendy's mom and all that toxic stuff was Ashley having the nerve to say, I think it was this episode, to say that she can't picture Stacy with TMO. And it's like, are you serious? Like, to anybody that ever accidentally envisioned you and Michael, like, you owe us all an apology. So are you really freaking serious? Like, she's crazy, but that was it.
Thanks, Brandy. Take care. All right, let's bring up Keisha next. Keisha, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Potomac?
Wagwan, Kempire.
Wagwan.
Hopefully this flow been acting up a little bit here. So.
Uh-oh. Are you there? Did I lose you? Did someone try to call you? Keisha? All right, Keisha. I don't know if you got T-Mobile over there. Keisha, call back in. I don't know. Maybe she got a phone call. Nay, what's going on? What did you want to share?
Happy holidays.
You too.
Just real quick. Ashley's a predator. Charisse she pimped out her son for a moment on the show. As far as Wendy is concerned, the thing that people aren't really addressing is the fact that she doesn't owe her mom loyalty. Her mom knew what she was signing up for, being with that man. She said in earlier seasons that their religious beliefs didn't align. They didn't work out. It happens all the time. And the thing that irritates me with parenthood is people act surprised with certain dynamics. And now Wendy's having to stay silent to keep the peace. That's not fair to her. You put kids in positions where they can't be honest with you, and then you're surprised when they're not honest with you. That's not fair to Wendy. But that's all I had to say. Merry Christmas.
You too, Nay. Take care. Let's try Keisha again. Keisha, are you there?
Yes. I told you Flo was acting up here on the island.
Oh, Lord. Well, let's get into it before it disconnects again.
Right. Okay. So I just want to talk about Wendy and her mom. I think her mom is extremely toxic, which is terrible. I mean, I kind of feel sorry for her and her sister because she kind of seems like that mother that still wants to run their children's household, even though they are grown and have their own families. And it's like, Mom, Miss Susan, you chose him. Like, not once, but twice. You had 2 kids with this man. Was he extremely that terrible? But yeah, you know, religious beliefs, maybe he wanted another wife and she wasn't with it. And they fled and moved. But I think that Wendy should give her father another chance. I mean, he does have another side to his story. And if it doesn't work out, it just doesn't work out. At least she tried. So that's it.
Thanks, Keisha.
Thank you.
Take care. All right, let's bring up Excommunicado. Excommunicado, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, let me just run quickly. So first off, didn't Stacey tell us like 2 weeks ago that she and Timmy didn't want to come to the dinner because they were worried about Eddie and Wendy?
Yes.
So how come this week she's telling us now that, she's been waiting for them to meet and all of that shit? Well, about the Susan and the Wendy. So while I understand Wendy trying to reconnect with her dad and all of that, I feel like Susan's feelings are valid based on the history. But I think what probably ticked her off is that Wendy is kind of reserving some respect and reverence for the dad as compared to her. So she feels like, so the man who actually abandoned you guys, you are trying to keep this image up for him in presence of your kids as opposed to me, and kind of holding me and shutting me down in place of the man who actually wasn't there. So I think that's probably what ticked her off crazy, even regardless of whether her behavior is toxic or not. But I feel like she's a bit valid considering the fact that she had to coil through the mud for the kids as it stands. But lastly, I would say that Susan is the mother that Dr. Simon's kids actually need.
Excommunicado, thank you so much for calling in. That's hilarious. Not Dr. Simone catching a stray. Singer just says I sent you something. It should be in your P.O. box today, so I'll check it tomorrow. That I went to the post office. There was a line almost out the door, but it's the holidays, so that should not be. Lucky I didn't have to wait in the line to go check the P.O. box. All right, Twan the Don, thank you so much for being a member and for the Suja. Twan the Don, you ain't been here in a hot second. Twan says Ashley K and the new lady in Denver. The new lady in Denver needs to go. Not the new lady in Denver, Angel. Janelle, thank you so much for the super chat. Janelle says, happy holidays, Kemp. Thank you for the entertaining year. Oh, wait, I got a shimmy. Look, shimmy. Look, I got Team Naughty on my shirt. Team Naughty for Janelle. All right, now I'm hurting myself. Thank you so much for the super chat and happy holidays to you. Thank you for being a part of this entertaining year. Thank you so much, guys. We're almost at 1,000 likes. Let me bring up Pageant Mommy next. Pageant Mommy, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Potomac?
Happy holidays. Hey, Kempire.
You too.
And all. Yeah, so the scene with Wendy and her mom, I can see both sides for sure.
Yeah.
I think that, how folks express themselves and communicate absolutely can be adjusted, but in the moment and in with so much emotion, you don't always do the right thing. So I understand Wendy wanting to have a relationship with her father, but I also, of course, look at patterns, right? They just went to Nigeria and the father was a no-show. I mean, so we're looking at patterns, and then her mom seemingly, because we only have a snippet, right, of what goes on, raised the children, did all those things, and now her daughter's like, yeah, and I still want to have this relationship. So it was a trigger. Yeah. I think that we have to give both grace, to be very honest.
I agree. Thanks, Pageant Mommy, for calling in. Take care. See you in New York, March 13th.
See you, darling.
Bye. Shout out to everyone that's gotten their tickets already for the Kempire After Dark live show happening here in New York City next year, March 13th. That's Friday the 13th. Yes. A night of hot topics and more. One night, one mic, one man, me. Okay, get your tickets today for that. There are show and meet and greets available. Plus, there's a live stream available only for this show. So go get your tickets for that if you can't make it to New York. But this is the only show that I have planned so far for 2026. So you don't want to miss this if you want to see it in person. Okay? All right. Last but definitely not least, let's bring up Cynthia. Cynthia, what did you want to share?
Oh, you saved the best for last. Hi, Kempire.
Hey.
Happy holidays.
You too.
Remember, I touched a little bit on this topic last week. Coming from a Nigerian, especially Igbo, Wendy's mom, honestly, she's so triggering because she reminds me of my mom. You basically have to choose a side when your parents are getting divorced.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when my parents got divorced, we chose our mom's side. You know, feelings are validated. And yeah, I mean, Nigerians are very, very keen on respect. So Wendy pointing the hand, my mom will not tolerate that either. Yeah. And honestly, my advice to Wendy, and now I actually took on my advice, don't talk about your dad to your mom. If it's triggering her, just don't even talk about it. It's not even worth it.
Yeah.
And that's it, Kempire. Hopefully I'll see you in New York.
Yeah, hopefully. I'll see you in New York, Cynthia. Bye.
Okay, I'll see you in New York. It's a date. Thanks, Kempire.
Bye. All right. Thank you to everyone that called in. Thank you to everyone that was a part of the conversation for Real Housewives of Potomac's latest episode. We appreciate you guys being here. Thank you guys so much for the super chats, the VENMOs, the Cash Apps. I see that normally after the live. Thank you to everyone that's been requesting me recently as a birthday gift or Christmas gift on Cameo. Don't forget, you can still book me. I'll do some cameos between now and Wednesday, but do not call me on Christmas Day because I'm not doing them. Okay, so get your Christmas gift by getting a cameo from me, especially if I've been your number one. Tell the ones that you love, this is what I want for Christmas. It's a cheap one, okay? Cameo, all right? So be sure to do that. More information on that and our P.O. Box and all that good stuff, everything Kempire, including our podcast. Don't forget you can hear our podcast where we add additional episodes, special episodes, additional content to live recaps like this on the Kempire podcast. While you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Club Kempire Baddies, I know I owe you an episode. I've just been busy. So hopefully this week I'll be able to catch up on a lot of stuff with the holidays right around the corner. So happy holidays, happy belated Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that good stuff. And thank you so much for already over 1,000 likes for our Real Housewives of Potomac recap. Don't forget, we will be live again at 3 p.m. Eastern. On this channel, we'll be live in multiple places. Shout out to everyone watching on X, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. Millie, thank you so much for the super chat. Millie says, got my tickets for the live show. That's going to be my super long trip, but the chances of a live show in Kenya are probably slim. At least not in 2026. Because I wouldn't mind coming to Africa and doing a whole tour. Come on, let's co-create that together. Kempire After Dark does Africa. Yes! Come on, right? But in 2026, I don't know the likelihood of that. But Millie, thank you so much for the super chat, and I will see you in New York. I love that. You're coming all the way? See, if none of y'all have an excuse if you live in Connecticut or New Jersey or even anywhere in the United States, go get your tickets March 13th, all right? Till you do right by me. All right, y'all. Happy holidays. I will see you at 3 p.m. Well, maybe a little bit later than that. So stay tuned. I'll see you for the Married to Medicine recap because I do have a lot of thoughts on that. All right. Bye, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.